Oh, was that Marv with them glasses on there?
All right, I think we're live. I think we're live on YouTube. So I'm just going to talk for a little bit and see if Danny can hear us on his TV screen.
Has that presentation page gone? Because I've lost that.
No, that should still be there.
Oh. I've lost that. I'm happy with this. So I can see what's going on.
Has everybody lost the presentation page?
Is that all the bits down the side?
Oh.
I can just see All Time 11.
Yeah, there should be a black screen with blue writing saying All Time 11.
Yeah, I've lost that.
Danny Walter saying, well, why aren't we on yet?
Well, we're live now, apparently. Right, given that we're live, I will...
crack on, Rich. Yeah.
Crack on, yeah. So the way this is going to work, I'm going to flip through this presentation. So the first thing to do is just to explain how we have arrived at this and all-time 11 for Goresbrook. So we surveyed 17 people, which were members who date back to the 80s and 90s and are still around the club today. So people who've seen as many players as possible. Plus we also surveyed anybody who captained the first team. So that brought in more recent players like JC, Shane, Kane. So the names of all the people we surveyed are there: Shan, Marv, Jack, Chest, Bolt, the General, Lawrence, some people who are now hidden behind
pictures. The
pictures, Matty Jones, Joe Wilkinson, Dave Whisker, myself, Kurt, JC, Shane, Kane. So quite a wide range of people. Everybody picked their best 11. So everybody who got a selection in the best 11 got one vote. And then we racked up the number of votes, and that got us to a final 12. So there were 3 people who all had the same number of votes. So we surveyed back out to people to ask them to choose between those 3 players to get to a final 11. So that's the process we followed. And without further ado, we'll go into number 1, and this is going to be a controversial one. Number 1, player number 9, Lawrence Walsh.
How's he getting it?
Sneaked in.
Couldn't even vote for myself.
So clearly Lowell has played in the first game in 1982 and has played consistently all the way through to the present day. 26,600 runs at 31. 3,100.
Is that it?
That's it, 3,100s. And then 1,300 wickets at just under 18. Best of 7 for 20. 53 ducks.
I was going to say, don't forget the ducks at the end then.
53 ducks is the only box.
Yeah. Could have got a jump for that. It was probably last season.
So let's pick the bones out of that one. I mean, who voted for Lowell?
Yep, I voted for Lowell.
Yeah.
I've got him in. I've got him
definitely.
In.
Yeah. Do you want to know who didn't vote for you, Lowell?
No, really.
Lowell.
Nobody.
Lowell. Yeah.
You were a unanimous choice. So we'll put you in at number 1. Lowell, what if you were asked to describe yourself as a cricketer in your heyday, what would your description be? Opening bat, all-rounder?
Probably opening back in the old days. Was more of a batsman than a bowler. I was a seamer when I bowled and then done my knee in. I tore ligaments in my knee, and then when I came back, just come off a few paces because of my knee, really. That was the idea. But I think my best attribute would be my concentration. I think the boys would come in and play lots of shots, which they could do it, and I didn't have a range of shots that these boys did, so I was sort of the one who hung around.
Hung around for 39 years.
I've watched you half my life.
Strong scoring areas between sort of wideish gully and extra cover.
Extra cover.
Yeah.
There's no ball that you can't ease through the covers.
Yeah, it's my forte, isn't it? Through the covers.
No, I used to like a little dab shot, though. I used to play that quite a lot. Go through the gully, through the sticks area.
Little dab, little cut, yeah. And I tried to cut too many too many close to the stumps. But
well, can I just say one thing about Lowell's batting that sums him up, being serious, is we went on tour, and I think it was the first game on the Sunday. John Brooker's team didn't have a player, didn't turn up, so we had a squad. And they asked Lowell to play. I think Jack had to give him permission, and then he went out and smashed about 140 against us. That sums it up.
I think that's probably the best innings I've played as well.
It was against our bowling.
But the only thing I would say is when I was on about 20 or 30, I had Jack at short leg calling me all the names under the sun. And I said to him, look, what do I do here? And he went, just play it straight. So I just, but it was just a fluke. It was a one-off, wasn't it? But I very remember Mark has never forgiven me. He even sent me a message when I was texting the other day about, these final three. And he came back with, you'd be in Gothic's all-time 11 as well. That was the team I played for. He's never forgiven me for it, Mark. Good days, good old days.
All right, well, given the lack of controversy, we can probably move on. Just feast your eyes on those stats. Not sure the wicket column's going to be ticking up anytime soon, though, actually.
No,
what is the Bob Boulder situation?
Frozen shoulder, mate. Shoulder to shoulder. Can't lift my arm any higher than that at the moment. Wait for
in your pocket.
Barwick in his heyday.
Yeah, I might have to.
Alerta.
Yes, I'm waiting for this COVID thing to sort itself out. I'm due for a cortisone injection to help free it, but I think my bowling days could be behind me now. I can't see it getting improving. Yeah, and even worse is golf. Can't swing a golf club either, which makes it even worse.
Rich, to finish on Low as well, I think he's like what you'd call every club's got one, but he's the club legend. Like he's played for all age groups, or sort of age groups, but since the start of it, all the way through to bring in some of the youngsters who are now in the first team. Literally, he's played with all of us. So from that point of view, I think everyone looked up to him. I certainly did. And from that point of view, he's number one for a reason, because he is the ultimate club legend.
Yeah. Well, he's also number one because the other opener is not going to be allowed to face the first ball. So,
really, for me, his record says it all. He's always been a quality player, and he always will be. Yeah. He's been at the top of his game for a long while, so he's a quality player. One of the best I've played with, anyway.
Still playing first team cricket last year at the age of 50.
Yeah, that was a surprise. But he's been good, like carrying on playing, and like the old days playing with Scott and Dow, and then the young, yourself coming in and Kurt, and now the younger lads, and then got a renaissance back in the first team last year for a few games with Shane and Kane and JC and the boys, which is fantastic. But it was a hard to pick my 11 because of playing for so many years, I suppose, seeing the old boys and the new lads as well. So very enjoyable.
What was your favourite Goresbook team then? Is it the early ones, just playing with your mates?
I think so. Probably because we're all, we grew up together. I was at school with a lot of them. We all lived within us, even like Dow and Scott and the Barwicks, the Iries, the Morrisons. We'd play over the field, over Goresbrook Park, opposite where I used to live. Even in the school holidays, we'd be playing over there. So, the old team of my mates, so they're all like my good friends sort of thing. So, probably the old side, I'd say. But I have not enjoyed playing for Goresbrook, otherwise I want to be playing.
Cool. I've just had a message from Joe Curley saying somebody's phone is on loud. The notifications keep coming through. So, if anybody's got their phone on loud, switch it off.
Turn it off.
Mine's buzzing away, but I've turned the sound off. Thanks for watching, Joe. Number two. Number two is player number 107, Kurt Whisker. Debuted in 1999. Rumoured to still be playing this season if there is one. Although it could be doubtful in the second half of the year. 14,500 runs at a shade under 32. 1100s. Top score 157.
What, mate?
That's not me either.
That was me. Sorry, Danny Walker trying to phone me.
Newman. Kurt, an impressive record. We'll gloss over the bowling figures. That bowling was when he was a much younger man, more enthusiastic man.
I can't remember bowling, to be honest.
Only over at Barking.
Or Lowell Farm. That was a good place to bowl.
Yeah. But yeah, batting wise, pretty much always at the top of the order. For a long time, the key wicket in the first team, as kind of the leading run scorer. And you got a good majority of the votes for the other opening spot.
Are you happy being at number 2, Kurt?
Not really, Lowell, but as you are a club legend, I'll let you off.
I didn't realise till earlier, Kurt was saying that he played. Is that right, Kurt? It was under me in your debut, wasn't it? You said.
My first league game, first team league game, he was over at Hawks when we first got into that Morant League, I think. And you kindly stuck me up at 3, which was nice at 13, 14. And Devon Weeks and Sammy Kernan wrote me a bowling.
Yeah. You got a draw?
Definitely. I didn't. It's my only ever golden duck.
Yeah. I batted for about an hour and got peppered all over. But Wayne Messenger was hanging on at the end, I think, for 9 down.
Yeah. I actually bowled that day as well, Scott. My bowling was better than my batting for sure that day.
I wanted you as an all-rounder, so that's what it was.
Yeah, I used to bowl you when I was captain as well, and then you just kind of lost enthusiasm for it.
When I become captain, I stopped bowling, basically.
You can only have one
better
bowler.
bowlers.
That's the wrong leg, isn't it? You can only have one.
Yeah, that's very true. To be fair, yeah. I think one of the last games, I think it was over Lowell Farm, where I took a fifer and scored 40 or 50 odd not out, and decided that would be the best way to call it a day from a bowling career.
Yeah, I don't think the pitches were bouncing enough for you, Kurt, because you like pitching it halfway down, didn't you?
Or close to my toes as possible, yeah.
So, Kurt, when would you say you were at your best as a batsman?
Definitely not last year, but probably from 2007 all the way through to probably 2015. So a good 8 years, I'd say, where every season generally I'd at least battle away, even if I weren't batting particularly well. But I'd try and battle away and do a job for the team. Particularly when the younger guys were coming through, we didn't really have the established side that we have now, really, with the likes of Shane, JC. Those guys really sort of kicked on a bit. But it was in between sort of Lowell. It was really just Lowell, myself, and Michael, and some of the other lads were coming through. So it was a case of really making sure that we could just bat the time as best we could. But then a couple of purple seasons with, I think the year we first got in the Prem, that was quite a good season for myself. Even though we nearly got relegated, but we didn't, so that was good. And that first year back in the first year in the T-Rippon, that was quite easy. That was quite nice. Small grounds,
friendly bowling attacks.
Yeah, that was nice. And probably the best season, I think, even though I didn't score as many runs, was the year we won the league the first time. I think the second half of the season, I probably averaged 50 or something like that. Get 15. I didn't get much more because I batted slowly, but just made sure we get 200, and our bowling and fielding would take care of the rest.
Yeah, carried you back for about 50 against Mayor Bakers in the decider.
Can I just say that Kurt, you was the first one of the young. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, you was one of probably the first player from the young breed when we had the old school team that actually came in and, for me, walked in eventually, just became a part of the team. That's why the first thing I did when I picked that team was put you and Lowell down as openers. There was no other one coming in my mind, to be honest.
For me, Kurt, I personally think to watch you bat technically wise, for me, when you bat, you look so comfortable. And for me, you always think about the game as well, not just yourself, your own game. You think about everybody else's game as well. So that's why you bring so much more to the game for me, especially with the youngsters that are coming through.
Yeah. You didn't watch me last year, then, Dal. That was good.
The year we won the league, you captained really well as well. So you got the pressure of opening the batting and catching, and paying most of the youngsters subs as well at the same time. So
and their peers,
and buying the peers afterwards. Yes, yeah.
Now, I've got just one comment, Kurt. I don't know what happened. I don't know if you'd had an injury or something, and you come back. You was a bit out of form. And I remember when we won that. I think it was the year we won the second team league. And I picked you. They said you gave him in the twos, and I think I batted with you on that. And then I realised then, it was just like batting with Lowell all over again, just standing at the other end, just watching. I just like leave, stop, free.
I just done my.
This geezer's never going to get out, and I'm never going to get a strike.
Always on account. Yeah. I just come back from an injury. I'd done my shoulder.
Yeah, I'd say at your best, very, very solid defence, and you just knew your scoring shots inside out, kind of waiting for the bowlers to bowl short or on your legs or give you a little bit of width. Didn't really try and play the shots that got you out or that you struggled with. You just kind of played to your strengths and just accumulated. And for a long time, it was very difficult to get you out.
You know the rules, Richie. Don't drive until June.
Exactly.
That's a good call.
All right. So there's your opening pair. Number three. This order's debatable, by the way. We can pick the bones over it at the end. But number three, a lad who only played for the club for 3 years, but picked up enough votes to get in the team on the back of his stats, which were pretty sensational. So Wayne Hutchison, bangers. 2003 to 2005. One of those seasons, I think it might have been the middle one. He broke the club record, which stood until Shane broke it last year for number of runs in the season. But yeah, 800s across those 3 years. Pretty much averaged 1,200 runs a season, 43. Plus he bowled very tidy, sort of off spin. I say spin generously, but
pacey spin.
Fired in some darts.
And that ball he done where he actually didn't bowl with the correct hand. That was, I still don't know how he done it.
The one that came over like that.
The arm comes over and he threw it with his other hand. I think I don't know what he was doing.
But yeah, bangers. So a lot of the younger members. I mean, some of the match play team would have been coming into senior cricket. May even have been coached by bangers. But a lot of members at the club won't have seen him play. So, Kurt, do you want to just talk us through how he played?
Yeah, he was probably. I mean, he hasn't played a lot, obviously, but the time he was here, it shows how much of an impression he made. Probably talent-wise, probably the best player I've played with at Goresbrook, purely on the basis of what he's done, came in and just smashed it, basically. His first season weren't amazing. He was finding his feet a little bit, never played in England before. But his second season, when he came back with his own gear and that sort of stuff, was unbelievable. But we played in that league where you brought your own umpires to the game. So Goresbrook would bring their own umpire, Leadfoot or Leadbetter or something like that, whoever it might be, Milky. But every other team would then make sure that as soon as he hit his pads, they'd give him out. That's how good he was.
His third season.
All the time, isn't it? LBW.
Exactly, first season.
Yeah, no kill, famous.
Yeah. So once he got a reputation after his second season, his third season, anytime it hit him on the pads, he was gone. Which I think kind of got to him by the end of the season.
I think when
he hit such a clean ball, didn't he, Lowell?
Yeah, very clean. I mean, when he first joined us, he phoned someone up because he lived in Leighton, and he came down to nets at Eastbrook, indoor nets, winter nets. And he turned. I never went, but I'm sure Scott and Lee was there. And he turned up, and for some reason, the caretaker refused to open the hall. It wasn't on that night, so he went off in a huff. And they rang me up. I think Lee rang me up, Lee Bowie, and said, "You won't see this Aussie again." But lucky enough, he came back the following week, and his first game was at Herongate, nice small pitch. But as soon as he went in, bang, here we go. We've got a good one here, and he was terrific. I mean, should I put him? Should I not put him in? But he played over 100 games for the club, and his record is phenomenal.
To be honest, I would say he's probably the best cricketer I've seen play at Goresbrook without a shadow of a doubt. I think the boys absolute quality.
Yeah, no, very good. And the thing is, you go back. Like I've been over to Australia, obviously, and been over and see him play for his club, for his grade cricket side, and he's like not nowhere near the best player in their team. So it just shows you how strong they are out there, the old Aussies, at the time.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the other player that came into the conversation about the best team, I was thinking about Jamie Parker, but Dale come into the team through, and I just didn't think he played enough. I mean, the boy was something else with a bat in his hand. I must admit, I used to get excited watching him on a Sunday friendly, just stick him out to open or something. But Banger's played that little bit extra time, which means he had to be in the team.
Yeah, and we've always said we'd never pay a player to play for us.
No.
And the only one where we said what would it take for you to come? Because he weren't going to play a third season. And he said, if you pay me airfare, I'll come back. And the committee went, as long as he does a bit of coaching with the Colts, we'll pay it. And we did. It's the only time we've ever done it.
Rich, do you remember that game we played Tennyson? And he opened the batting with me, and we put on like about 300 or something like that. And I think he got 150 before I'd got 50. Which, that sounds about right for my batting, but he was just unbelievable.
Yeah, I can remember a game against Tennyson, a game over on the second pitch at Fords against Raynham, I think it was, where he got 100 in, or I think Lowell might have got 100 in the same game.
Fords, yeah. That Fords. Was, I think that was against Raynham. They were playing over Raynham.
But once he was only a little guy, but like ridiculously strong arms, and he played properly. He played like proper cricket shots, didn't slog, and once he got in, it was like there was nowhere to bowl to him. He had pretty much every shot, and the volume of runs he scored and the pace that he scored them at just made it very easy for everybody else.
Yeah, he fitted in well with the club. He got on with everyone as well, didn't he? He liked to drink. I think he had more of a British attitude or English attitude than an Australian one, to be honest. Fitted in very well.
Yeah, I mean, his bowling stats, I kind of remembered him as being a bit more of a kind of hold one end up, slow the scoring rate. I didn't realise his economy rate was over 4, but I bowled quite a lot of overs at the other end from him. And the one thing he did was get through his overs at a ridiculous pace. He used to bowl an over in about a minute and a half. So you're kind of flogging yourself at one, you go down to 5 laps, and the next thing you know, he's bowled a maiden and you're back in again.
He used to do that technique what Marv used to do as well, where the batsman's not even ready and he's trying to bowl the next ball, which was one of Marv's old friends, wasn't it?
2 strides and just get through that over. Fire it in at,
one other thing about him, I remember Dave telling me that he took a very young Sunday second team over to Harold Wood and early in the season, and he was due to play a second team, and the Harold Wood's first team friendly got called off on the Saturday, and the league started the following week, so he decided to put a Saturday first team out against Dave's week Sunday second team, and Bangles was only going over to watch, and Dave sort of begged him to play to make it respectable, won the toss, batted, and Bangers got 100, and I think we got bowled out for 160 or 170, but he made it like a game. If you hadn't got it 100, they would have got rolled. That's how good he was, Bangers, against a proper Harold Wood first team.
So there you go. Now living in the North Island, the top of the North Island of New Zealand, I think.
He's back in Brizzy, mate.
Is he? All right.
Back in Brizzy, yeah.
Well,
I see him
I do feel a bit bad. I do feel a bit bad now, that we didn't turn up with his ticket when we went over there for the Ashes.
he didn't care less, mate. He couldn't care less. He was in the pub. He was happy.
All right. So number 4, player number 28, the big man, Darren Ivory.
Here we go.
Debut in 1983, the second season that the club played fixtures. Very similar to Kurt, just a few more runs, 14,800. 285 sixes is a few more than Kurt. 20 tons, average of 34, 172 not out. Was that a Herongate?
No, that was a stock.
Stock.
That
was, I got
a
huge
with a general.
What were you batting with?
Yeah, I just said I'd have got 300 if I weren't batting with you.
No, I only got 50 in that partnership. It says it all, really.
Tiny, you never play at stock, honestly. Tiniest ground ever.
Herrongate's a bit shorter straight, though, isn't it, I think?
Yeah, but obviously one side of stock is ridiculously short.
Yeah. 355 wickets as well with the patented pacey spin. Seen less and less these days.
You used to bowl seam up, didn't you? In the old days, Dale was sharp.
In the old days, yeah. Back in the old days, yeah. But just as you said, Lowell, the club never really had spinners, did we? We only had one spinner, and that was you. Really, that's all we had was one spinner.
Yeah, we just in the very early days we just all bowled seam, didn't we? Just
Yes, that's right. Yeah, we didn't have a spinner, did we? In the early, very early days.
So, Dal, we obviously got you down at 1983 to present, but you stopped playing pretty much from mid 2000s.
I think Millie was born. Yeah, when Millie's 20 now. So 2000. I think
2000. Yeah.
You know, it's kids, Rich.
Yeah.
It's hard when you got your kids and playing cricket. It ain't just like it's because you're out. It's an all day thing, isn't it? You're out all day, and it's like everyone will understand. It's, you know, as I would like to have carried on playing, but it was just too hard with family ties and that. So I think I had a good 10 years off. I think which I do regret now. I wish I'd have carried on playing. Really.
Yeah. Well, I mean, those stats basically in about sort of 16, 17 years, with playing a bit more in recent years.
Yeah, but it's not the same now, though, is it? It's completely, for me, the game's completely changed. Is that I always said that when we used to play, we faced more aggressive, more intimidating, quicker bowling. But now, you get nothing. They don't give you nothing to it now. Everything's on the spot. You don't get anything. And it's frustrating for me because you try and play now and you can't play how you used to play. And that's what I find frustrating.
Yeah, for me, Dal was the most reluctant cricketer I ever captained. The most talent. He was so frustrating. I don't know if you remember, Dal, I persuaded you to, when you were going through your, I think probably just after Millie was born, I got you to play. I told you it was a Sunday friendly and it was a Sunday league game against Asians.
Yeah, I remember that.
You turn up and he said to me, "That's the last time I'll ever play for you." But,
no, I do remember that. I do remember it really well.
Where's your best innings, Dal?
Sorry?
What do you think was one of your best innings? And I'll tell you what I think afterwards.
I mean, I've got two innings that always stick out in my mind, and it was when I got a ton against all over at their place. But then one of my best ones I thought was against Cicero in one of the old leagues.
Joe Pierre, yeah. The Hawks one is the one I'm thinking of. When Sammy Kernan, who was on the ground staff at Glamorgan, me and Marv opened up. And
That's
I looked
right.
round, and I've never seen a wicket keeper standing so far back for an opening bowler. And I went to the keeper, "Is he quick?" And he went, "You'll see, man." And the first ball I never sniffed. And the keeper took it above his head. And me and Mark didn't last long. And Dal scored 100. And I remember you hit the geezer for 6 over extra cover. And he come down and stared you straight in the face. And you just looked at him and he was shaking his head thinking, "What do I do?" Brilliant innings. Really stood out.
Yeah, but they were just bowling our volleys all the time. Though. It took them ages to work out to bowl short. I was past 100 before they started bowling short with me.
But there was quick stuff there, mate, I'll tell you.
Yeah, there was no helmets. We didn't really wear helmets either, did we, really?
No, that's right. There was no helmets, no. Do you remember that, Jen?
No, was that the day that I was captain, obviously, that day, wasn't I?
You was, yeah.
That was the day when I'd done one of my usuals and enforced the toss. They wanted to bat first, and I said, "Look, you've only got 7 players here at the time of the toss." And I said,
"We're batting." 2 minutes late, they turned up.
Yeah. I said, "We're batting."
But if you remember right, now for our place, and they give us an absolute hiding at our place in the return fixture.
Yeah, well, it was a good side, wasn't it? Really good side.
Yeah, that was
a good side.
They got over 300 for and they lost a couple of wickets as well.
So they just obviously I can talk about Dal more than anyone because we played together from school, district, everything. But he's obviously in my book. He's up there with 3 in the top 3 batsmen I've ever seen at the club. Anyway, I thought I could bat, but I was batting with him in a partnership, and I'm fucking getting left for dead. You know? But, no, he's just class player, Dal. Your batting definitely is. You're in the right place in the top 4 of this team, anyway.
Back in the day, maybe not now. I can't even see the bloody one.
Oh no, I'm not about now. You're useless now.
Dal, do you remember when you came back into the first team? I don't know, probably late 2000s or early 2010s, and we went over to Barking, and it was a wet one, and it looked like it was going to be rained off for all money, but they couldn't wait to get the game on. They were talking about playing sideways across the pitch, putting towels out to get it all wet. They won the toss. I lost the toss. So they put us in. We actually got off to a reduced over. I think it's 30 overs a side. We got off to an half-decent start. But you came in and obviously had the ump because we thought we was going to go out on the drink all afternoon, and we didn't. And they wanted to get on so much. And you kept smashing the ball into Barking Football Club repeatedly. I think you got 80 off about 30 balls.
Yeah.
The thing is, I'll be honest with you, for me, regardless, I'll always play one way. Regardless if we're 300 for 0 or whatever, I'd only play one way. And it was so easy for me when you bet with the likes of Marv, Andy, even Rolf back in the old days, where you know you can actually go and play your shots. You haven't got to worry about, whatever, because they just hold their end up and just stay the other end, and it allows you to play your shots. And me and Scott are exactly the same. We both play the same way. If the ball's in our bit, we're going to hit it. It's full stop.
Can I just add, though, one thing as well? Up till nowadays with Shane and Kane, that was by far the best fielder this club's ever had by a million.
Yeah, we had fielding, immense fielding. Yeah.
I'd take offence.
Well, we used to just sit in the slips and watch.
I remember, I think it might have been your debut. We played over the old Peter May, Peter May Centre now, in Walthamstow way. And I remember you came in late middle order. You could have only been the same age as Scott, what 14, 15 at the time. And the classic, a young lad comes in, they bring all the field round, everyone in front of the bat. And the bloke's bowled a half volley at Dow, and Dow's hit this ball straight at the geezer at short mid off or whatever, hit him straight in the chest.
They all
scattered after that.
No, do you know who I was batting with?
Go on.
I was betting with John Goodwin.
Really? Well, there you go.
With John Goodwin, yeah.
How long ago that was?
Yeah. I do remember that. I do remember that.
Now, the fast bowler, I can't remember his name, coloured talent, and he was sharp, but this geezer straight in the chest. I thought, God.
I'll tell you why I remember it was John, because every time he hit the ball, he wouldn't run. Because we were playing out for a draw. When he hit into the space, because obviously young, he wouldn't run, and I ended up getting the ump.
That's not unlike you, Dale. That trend never continued, did it?
All I can say, it's been an absolute pleasure for me to play with my mates. And you watch some of these young boys play now, they're absolute quality, some of these boys we've got playing now.
Yeah.
For me, it's been a pleasure, really.
Dale, Matt, you posted something on the group the other day. You won the Dagenham Post Batsman of the Year award in the early 90s.
Yeah.
What did you win for that?
Nothing.
Times of ours,
just a kudos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got one gripe. I've always had. It's like we won that Millennium 2020 trophy, didn't we?
Yeah.
I don't know what year it was, but and in the final, I cleaned up, got 5 wickets, and then you went out and knocked 50 off in no time, won the game, and the geezer, that old boy, I can't remember his name, he'd done the speech. I didn't even get. He just didn't even give me a mention. All he kept on about was your 50. And in saying that, I did take the trophy home. I've still got it.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. Yeah. But
Rich, I don't remember if I did get anything for that. I can't remember. I really can't remember.
What was the criteria? Was it just most runs or most 50s or 100s in the year? Or
I think it was. I think it was just most runs, Rich. But
most players threatened in the same team. I think it was.
No, my memory's going, mate. Really, but I don't remember. I can't remember what it was. I really can't.
Must be most runs.
Matt posted there was a whole list of
most runs.
Yeah, a whole list of awards, and Dal was the only Gaursbook player to have won over the years. So I was just curious.
No, honestly, mate, I can't remember. I don't remember. Like as I say earlier, I was going through a few of the stuff in the loft today, and I found a few old programs, like a few old books and that. And obviously, you've seen it. We put on the title earlier. Some of them are quite funny, quite entertaining. Some of them little books.
Libelous, mostly.
Yes. Yeah. Very much so.
All right, we'll move into the engine room. Number 5, player number 249, Shane Barwick. Debut in 2007 when he must have been about 11. Played 329 times for the club, 7,500 runs, average of just over 31 with 900s, and then with the ball, outstanding figures really. 546 wickets, average just over 13, 3.5 economy rate, which is great for a spinner. Shane Barwick of Gaursbook and Hornchurch.
Very good.
Boys quality. Boys absolute quality.
Yeah.
Absolute quality.
Still Goresbrook. He ain't played for Hornchurch yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, as he's dead, I think he's just one of our superb youngsters. He's in the league. Obviously, we've had Kurt, Michael Rock, and Shane. But then I don't want to make this a big thing on here, but he had to go to somewhere like Hornchurch for this season. Obviously, that ain't going to happen because he deserves that little crack to go a bit higher. I think it's just one of them things. But what he's done with the club, and he still loves the club. He said, "I wish I could. If they cancel the season, I'd play for Goresbrook again." So he loves the club. But he's a great batsman. I think everyone knows he's a great batsman. But his bowling, to me, I think he's the best bowler that's ever bowled at the club and what he does. So, to me, he walks into this team. That's just my opinion.
As a bowler, I picked him, Scott, I think when he was 14, 15 maybe, in the first team. When he was young, didn't want to obviously stick him up too high with a batting. We had quite a decent batting side at the time, but he bowled his 10 throughout. And I've always said, I always thought, although last year obviously he broke records and stuff like that, I always thought his bowling was his stronger part. His batting's definitely caught up and maybe overtaken that now to a certain extent, or at least level, but his bowling was superb. With Richie being a seamer with somebody who could rely to go like less than 3 and over or around 3 and over, with him playing a bit less, Shane coming in was really important. And yeah, as you said, bowling wise, that's superb. Particularly when you had like the likes of Toby and Lowell as well. I mean, I'm probably the anti-Goresbrook captain where I play 4 or 5 spinners if I could. Get through the overs quickly.
Yeah, remember, down. You always put the boundary out about 300 yard circle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You could.
Yeah.
You brought him through, mate, under you all them years. He looks up to you, mate, as you know, and you've made him the player he is, really.
But I think Shane
I don't know about that.
came into the first.
You helped
came into the first team just as I was finishing in the first team, I think, wasn't he? And we played in the cup final together. But you can see people from the side. It's not until you play with them that you see how good they are. And as I said, I was lucky enough to play a few games in the first team last year, and that sort of opened my eyes to how good he is. There's some other players in the team that are very good as well. And I was really impressed with his captaincy when I played under him. So, batting is phenomenal. Bowling is ridiculous.
Yeah, but his fielding is fantastic. The way he's
fielding's class.
Fielding's exactly, yeah.
You said it earlier, Jem, but him and Kane's fielding is a joke.
I just want one quick story. When you lot was all on tour, I can't remember what tour it was. We had one of the famous Taliban games, and Dean and his leisure. I said to Dean, look, you got Darren Ted. I think it was me and Shane, Lee Granger and Bobby, my dad's kids. We had loads of old, no one had been playing that regular. Jordan Cowley played as well with Shane, so we had 2 players in there. But I said to Dean, get us a nice, easy, nice friendly. Who's he send over? Some sort of Asian county side, you know what I mean? That's what it seemed like on a Sunday. And one bloke was batting. I always remember. I was in the slips. And Joe Curley was keeping, and this bloke was taking the piss out of Bobby Granger's bowling. Doing the steps and all that. And I was in his ear hole. The friendly went out the window, and I went up to Shane. I said, Shane was captain. I said to Shane, look, you've got a bowl. He went, no, I'm not here to bowl at that. I said, no, you come on and get this geezer out. And he came on. I think he softened him up the first one. And I've never been in the slips with Shane. He pitched the second one on the back middle and leg, and it took them to the top of off stop. And we just waved this geezer off with obviously the cause of goodbye. But that sort of summed up. That's the first time I'd ever been there close to watching him bowl. It was different level.
Yeah, I don't think I'd played with him really more than a couple of times until the year we won the league. We got to the 2020 final, and literally 3/4 of the team were away in Portugal. So Shane played in the finals day at Fords when we played Asians in the semi-final and then Scintilla in the final. And he came in as a 13, probably 14-year-old. And everybody was kind of a little bit wary that he was going to find the occasion a bit much and struggle. And he was just absolutely, even at that age, just bowled his 4 overs off the reel in the middle overs, went for about 4 and over. Just knew exactly what he was doing with the ball, where he was pitching it. Just took to first team cricket and a finals day when there was quite a lot of excitable crowd there. Just took to it like duck to water, and from the following season on a Saturday, he was in the first team and never left really.
Yeah, but just one more thing was I think Kurt, me and your dad was playing with the twos, and your dad had the phone going over to I think it was the fours, and Shane, we was keeping that track on Shane's innings, and he got his first ton in the fours at the senior level, and he was 12. And I always, me and your dad was on the phone every over trying to find out how, like he's on 7. He was batting with Paul Winsley. That's all I remember. But
he was away at Forwards, I think, because we were on the next pitch. We were on the main pitch, and they were playing on the side pitch. That might have been the day when Ratboy bowled the worst last over in Goresbrook history.
Yeah.
We'll get on to him in a minute.
Around about that time.
No, what I say, good luck to the boy now. He's got every opportunity now to go and back himself. So I'd say good luck to him. Boy's quality. So
Totally agree.
I'm glad that he's gone to
no
a club like Hornchurch, because if you can go to a Hornchurch, a Brentwood, a Chelmsford, a Wanstead, one of the kind of top clubs, and get in their first team, then you'll get a crack and you'll find out whether you're good enough.
Yeah.
There's no better way to leave a team after smashing the club record as well. I mean, being on a big high and on good terms, obviously, and please come back.
But the thing is, he can go and do his thing. He can have a go. But he can 5 or 6 years time, he can always come back and play again, can't he? So he's got to do it. Got to go and do it.
He can play on a Sunday for his cousin. Maybe captain instead of his cousin. Who knows? All right, number 6. So number 6, player number 162, Michael Rook.
Brett.
Debut 2002. We'll ignore the games he played when he came back half cut from Singapore. So 2014, he finished, moved over to Singapore. So 6,800 runs, an average of just less than 30, and 237 wickets at a pretty tidy average of 16. Good economy rate. I suppose the one thing that jumps out looking at his stats is that having played a lot with Michael, played pretty much his whole career with him at Goresbrook, I would always have him down as a batsman who bowled rather than an all-rounder. And those stats probably underplay what a good batsman he is, and even overplay his bowling. Certainly, I don't know. Yeah, as his career he developed and kind of got a bit stronger, he became a really effective bowler and a different angle for the club. But in terms of his batting, when he was at his best, he was right up there with anybody else who played for the club in the range of shots that he had and his ability to kind of go through the gears and destroy teams.
Can I just say, like Michael at my 11 was the only player I picked that I haven't seen a lot of over the years, for whatever reason. But when I have seen him, and you've got to be guided by what you see every week, the scores, other people telling you and stuff. And obviously having a dad that used to just tear you to smithereens when you got out. You know, like how that boy ever ended up being out of older bat, I don't know. But the boy, everything I've seen, and he walks into the top 6. The top 6 you picked there is the exact top 6 I picked. I don't know what order, but that's the top 6 I picked.
Yeah. Rat would come back from a game and walk in the bar at Man Baker's, 78 not out, won the game, and he'd go, his dad would go, what'd you do? He'd go, got 78 not out. Why don't you get 100? How many weeks you get? I got 3. Why don't you get a 5 for? But that was Bolt. That's probably why Michael's so good. Bolt used to drive him on. But and plus his field, an outstanding slip fielder as well.
Brilliant.
Or is brilliant slip fielder.
Same as you, Jen. I never really played a lot with Michael. What I did see of Michael, he's probably one of the most naturally gifted cricketers that I've seen play. The way he used to play his shots, boy, he was another really good player, decent player. And Scott, how many of them boys are in your match team?
So far.
Just Shane, wasn't it?
Just Shane.
He was in the first one.
Yeah, he was in the previous one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he was, yeah.
Yeah, Rat used to like little salt Kurt, didn't he, when he got out?
Oh, mate. There's a couple of things about Michael. He's probably one of the best teammates you could ever have because although being like all for the team, quality player, he was also someone you could like have a laugh at and he'd take it pretty well as well. He'd bring a lot of it on himself. Like having the nickname Rat Boy, he should get in the team alone for that, I think, because it is one of the best nicknames you'll ever come across. Because he doesn't look like a rat. He was actually bitten by one, just if people don't know. And it was in the local papers and stuff like that. But to what the other guys are saying as well, probably the classiest batsman that I've played with for Goresbrook in terms of the shot selection, the way he looked. Particularly, like, even he was good when he was younger, and when he came up to the ones after not scoring many in the twos, I got a few questions as to why I was picking him. But actually, the pace on the ball and the bigger responsibility, he became a lot better player. And actually, when he went away, I think when he came back from travelling, he was even better. He was superb because suddenly the shackles had gone, and he just played some of the freest shots you'd see, and he'd score so quickly. Probably better coming down from. He used to open the bat in early doors. Then he'd come down to about 3, 4, and 5, and I think that suited him. He could play all around the wicket, and his bowling. I think his bowling was a bit unlucky because he played in that match play team you were talking about, Jen, the first one, where they had so many bowlers: Izzy, Mitchelson, Toby, Brian, rammed up the lot. Shadow, he didn't get a bowl. So when he came into men's cricket, I think we actually forgot he bowled, and it was only really when I think a few times Richie might have used him just for something different that we realised, well, actually, his bowling's pretty handy as a left armer. And towards the end of his career, he bowled 10 overs every week, as well as batting at 3 and 4.
Yeah, the height.
So I think he developed better as he got older as well, for sure.
Yeah, he did. The left arm thing and the height as well. He used to have a good action, good strong action. He used to get a lot of bounce, and yeah, people struggle to play.
He gets up if you don't sit his field properly, though.
Oh, he's an absolute prima donna in the field.
Yeah.
So do you
Throws
think
his times out the pram.
At the end, do you think when he was batting in the ones and Martin was playing for the twos, threes or whatever, do you think that was one of the reasons he's done work better because he didn't have that in his ear anymore? Basil Faulty with the old.
No, I think when he got older and he got to university and stuff like that, I think he probably got over that sort of thing. He just done what he wanted to do in terms of dress sense as well. Everything just changed for Michael. His personality, to a certain extent, it did change quite a lot. He came back like a bit of a different person, where he was quite a timid guy, would sit in the background. By the end of it, he was probably one of the biggest lunatics in the team.
Oh yeah, but when he came into the first team, he was Toby, Michael, Izzy, all that, Richard Williamson. But for such a young player, he wasn't afraid to try things. He'd walk down the wicket to the opening bowler in the early overs. He'd bowl if things weren't going well for him. He'd bowl this one arm ball without putting the lead arm up, which everyone was laughing in the field, but it was a good ball. Weird. So wasn't afraid to try things. Terrific player.
Quality player, quality teammate, great to have around. It's a shame that when we went into the premiere of the T Ripon, that Div 1 team we had, even though the standard weren't great, was probably one of the best sides we've ever had. We had everyone together. Everyone was at their peak. Shane had come into the team from the team that won the league originally. And then he told us after we just won the league that he was going to Singapore never to come back. So that was a big shame because even to have one league, one year with him in that Prem, I think we would have, if we didn't win it, we would definitely have come second, I think.
All right.
And his slip catching. Did we mention his slip catching? Best slip catcher ever.
Yeah, we should. His
slip catching's phenomenal.
Yeah, got me so many.
Unbelievable.
Wickets. Yeah, very, very, very reliable. Anything within his radius, he'd catch it.
Yeah.
All right, number 7. Staying in the family. Number 7 is number 7. Steve Rook, 1982 to we say present. He's always rumoured to be around another appearance, but so just over 700 appearances, nearly 14,000 runs at just over 25, 13 tons, and then with the ball. So his bowling probably went until mid-90s.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's bowling 540 wickets. He's obviously terrific, and his economy rate is ridiculous, 2.87.
I was just saying, my first name down on my sheet at my best 11 was Steve, because obviously I played with him at the start. I was 14, opened the bowl with him for a lot of years, and it just worked perfect. In them days, he didn't have a clue how to bowl, seam or try and swing it. He just bowled at the stumps as quick as he could, and at the other end, like to think I had the brain and a little bit of goal, and we just cleaned up a lot of times. But the thing with Steve is his attitude and everything else. But the one thing I think these people that have seen him play for the 4s, 3s in later years don't realise. I don't think I've ever seen a batsman with a better eye than him ever. I'm not saying he's the best player, but you don't 126 sixes, etc. And the way he used to play, if you in a situation, he'd just come into the middle order, batted with him loads of times, and you just stand there. And I used to be in awe of his eye. He just, no matter how good the bowling was, if he had his eye in, he'd just take them to the cleaners in them days. But obviously,
on his day, he'll take anybody apart. On his day, he'll take them apart.
Nowadays, oh, Steve, he's getting up to 60. I'm on about in his 20s. He was absolutely top notch. Walks into this best 11.
He used to, like, people hit sixes, big sixes, but rookie hit flat sixes. They would power. They would go like no higher than your head all the way to the boundary. I saw him score, I think, 80 odd over Barking, and we won the game. I mean, Scott, you was captain. He was looking for openers, and me and your brother, we walked off around the other side of the clubhouse because he had Maxwell Crease opening the bowling.
That was the famous line. I went up to Jack and I said, "Jack, do you want to open?" He went, "Well, not really." I went, "Well, it's 1 or 11." That was the famous line. So he opened.
But the other thing is, you don't realise what a fast bowler he was. I mean, there's only probably Izzy, I can think, who's probably quicker than Jack. In his heyday, he was very, very sharp.
Yeah, the big thing is, though, as Scott said, if he knew what he was doing with it, it'd probably be more dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, he did, but he didn't spray it big time, did he? I mean, he was...
But just pure aggression, and he always give 110%. With Steve, you get 110%. Yeah, and if you don't give 110% as well,
we played this Sunday friendly over in. Do you remember that team, Albright and Wilson? I think they're called. We called them Albright and Boring. And the Sunday friendlies, you could bat in second, you could bat out for a draw, and we got 200 odd, 20 overs from 630. And they just didn't want to go for it. And then this old boy batting right near the end. I think there's only about 5. He must have been 70, this old boy. So I brought Jack back on, and Jack was bowling absolute missiles at him. He couldn't get him out, and he was hitting him, and the gloves wouldn't go out. So in the last over, Jack's got the last over with 3 balls to go. We weren't going to get them out. So Jack ran up and bowled an underarm ball at him. So go on in there, you old sod.
Yeah, I remember that. I do remember that.
I don't think he said old sod, though.
No, I'm calming it down for internet reasons.
He used to have that ball where he'd bowl. If he beat the bat, he'd just run down the wicket, and he used to do that laugh. You know that laugh? You know when he laughs, he sort of laughs at the batsman, as if to say, like, I've beat you, mate, you can't get back on me. But he was unbelievable. The attitude of him, I've never seen anything like it in all the years I played sport. I mean, it's the same at football, but cricket, you come off the pitch and everyone loved him. He was the most nice bloke to have a chat in the bowl. You get him on that, past that boundary line, my God, he was like unbelievable. Yeah. Absolutely.
A lot of the Asian teams used to play in the old days, Jack would be very aggressive to them, but they loved him, didn't they? They absolutely loved him. They loved Steve.
Yeah.
Old Dougie.
Yeah. And about his very unique appeal. Rookie, wasn't it? For
LB!
So he wouldn't say how's that. It was
LB. I remember him shouting at many a time, give him, just give him.
Yes. We was on tour. Remember on the Norfolk tour, he hit a fella in front of the pads, and he's turned around, like we had Norfolk umpires, and Rookie's got LB, and the umpires, around here we see holes out, or something like that, wasn't
it? Yeah. And one of the greatest innings I've ever seen at the club, and it was probably weren't the level some of the games we played in years, but that Redbridge Park's ton he got, I'm just gutted it wasn't registered in balls. He took 27 minutes, but
27-minute ton over Valentine's Park. Yeah,
it seemed to go out the park, didn't it? Unbelievable. When a day that
we played a lot of balls. I think it was about 30 something balls, wasn't it? Something stupid. It was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous, yeah. I think it was Gorswick's first ton. First person to get ton for Gorswick.
Well, like I said, I'm glad he was on my team and I didn't have to play against him a lot.
Mate, yeah. You could write a book about stories about Rook. I mean, when I was captaining him, the most... if you played football with him or against him, he's the most aggressive footballer I've ever played with. it's the same on the cricket field. You know, the amount of times I had to grab hold of him to stop him getting at the opposition. Good God.
I'll just say another little thing. When I was still playing captain first team, but the legs started, weren't quite the same. Never was that quick in the field, but he used to say to me, if I was in the slips or something, he'd say, he used to keep, didn't he, sometimes? And he used to say to me, Jen, if that ball goes past you, don't you fucking chase after it. I'll go and get it. He had the pads on, and he used to run down the pad and get the ball. Unbelievable.
Yeah, his wicket keeping. He used to anticipate. So if the ball was out there to be cut, he would be diving for the ball. And even if the batsman hit it, also you'd his thud and rookies dive for the ball. Terrific player.
I didn't play with Jack much. Like, I played probably a handful of games towards that part of his career, but for the younger players, he goes down in folklore anyway for some of the things you've already mentioned about the give it, LB, and what was it? The toss up. I've always wanted to do it. Go out for the toss and just put your foot on the coin and say we're batting and walk off. Just legendary status. He should be captain of this team just for that alone. We just bat every week.
He was our first captain, wasn't he, Jack?
And the famous Adidas shirt that until it got burnt, he wore that every game for about 15 years, 20 years.
Still got another one, didn't he? You ended up getting another one.
Yeah, well, he played every game
as well. Churchill socks.
I was going to say every game that I played with him, he wore the Churchill socks, and for good proportion, he wore the Churchill shirt underneath the Goresbook shirt as well. I used to call him pink collars because it had faded so the rest of it had faded so much.
It's a man of tradition, old Steve.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was probably, when I started playing, he was probably kind of coming to the end of his first team career, I think, but he still hit the ball ferociously hard. And he used one of the heaviest bats I've ever felt.
The old railway sleeper.
He had that SS Jumbo, and then there was a bat, I can't remember what name it was. He got this bat, it was £4 something. And I couldn't even lift the thing up. And he's a good bloke, and he's going, no, that's great for me. I've got it like unbelievable.
Yeah, but he used to throw it miles though when he got out as well, didn't he? He used to throw it everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
That's a Rook family trait.
Yeah, in the old days, if he got out, you had to, like, we'd go, don't look at him as he walked off, and he would throw he'd call, I can't believe I've just got out by that four-eyed tosser, and he'd throw I remember he threw the bat onto the clubhouse roof, and the poor old girl was doing the teas, come out shell shocked, and thought that was a bomb gone off.
Yeah,
Right, so number 7 was Stephen Rook. Number 8 is player number 18, Scott Barwick.
Got in.
Debut 1982, just after the first game. You've got you down as playing until 2017. What year did you stop playing league cricket?
Well, the Army went in 2004.
Yeah.
That's when I had the op. And I played after that, but I never really was the same, probably from about 5 years, 3 or 4 years after that, I just wound it down. And once I couldn't keep up with the wickets, I just give up in the end.
Yeah, 15,600 runs. Very similar to Rookie, actually, just under 26. But on the bowling side, 1,120 wickets at 16. Economy rate 3.5.
Yeah, that economy rate and the average and that has come down over the years. I think it was a lot better than that until I had all the injuries. But what do? You've got to keep playing, haven't you?
And what's your season wicket-taking record? Because I don't think that will ever be beat.
102, and I've got 14 5-wicket hauls in that season.
Yeah. I can't see with the amount of games that people play these days that anybody will ever beat 102.
No.
The only thing I kept playing for in the end, coming back for, was to try and get 1,000 maidens. I'm sure that's wrong. I think that should be 993.
You need to speak to your brother.
Yeah, because I kept saying, if I can get 1,000 maidens, it's something to go for. I'm not going to get anything else now. But at the moment, I can't do anything. But there you go.
Where was your debut, Scott? Can you remember what team you played against?
Romford Deaf, wasn't it? Don't say the joke. On a Sunday in Romford, I got 5 wickets, didn't I? The Morrison boys didn't want me to play because I was too young. Why is he playing? Blah, blah, blah. I opened the bowl and I did get 5 wickets, actually.
Romford Deaf, that's right, yeah.
They weren't a bad team, actually. They was obviously, I didn't say a lot, but they weren't a bad team.
Well, I think they had a couple of players who played for England.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't bad.
Sorry?
No, for me, Jen, personally, mate, you're probably, I know you, mate, I know, but you're probably the best bowler this club's ever had. The things you do with the ball, I couldn't even think about doing things with it. And for me, the way you think about the game, you're constantly thinking about it. And if I was going to pick a captain out of this team, you would be my captain, mate. Because for me, bowling wise, you're actually quality, actually fucking quality.
Yeah, I had you down as my captain as well. I've probably played more with you than I have anyone else. But captaincy, I remember playing when you captained the second team. Shane was playing. It was over Hainault somewhere, and I'll come on to bowl. And you went, "What field you want?" So I set my usual field, and then bowled my first ball. The geezer hit me for 4, and you went, "Hold on a minute, no, change it." You went, "Bomb, bomb, bomb," changed it. Next ball, geezer hit me, caught on the boundary. Yeah, I mean. So you knew my bowling better than I did, and that's the sign of the top captain.
Yeah, the only thing was obviously once I had the hammy and the run up. Once I lost my run up, that was me finished really. But I could still take wickets in the later years. We had that great year when I won the second division with the boys. I was bowling off 3 paces, but you know what I mean. But when I used to
you always put the ball on the spot, mate. Wherever you want.
I'd be 14 pace runner for 20 odd years, even when I was a kid, and I used to say that my strength was if you put a sixpence down or 2p down on the wicket, I could hit it. That was my strength, you know. That was my accuracy and all that. And I do think bowling with rookie did help for Gorswood, because when you've got someone really quick at the other end, they think, "Oh, I've got to take a chance," and then they take a chance against me, and not the time and not by just working them out or whatever. But that was quick enough. I wasn't the quickest, but I think I was quick enough. And my slower ball was deadly though. Come on, Dal. It was
the moniker.
Which was nicknamed moniker, yeah.
Which Bev has tried to take on.
The only criticism I have of you is you kept bowling the slower ball when you got slower.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You give up in the end, don't you? You're older and that, but
yeah, you could bat as well, mate. You could bat as well.
I was going to say the batting as well. Very good. Hundreds. I've batted with you over stock when you got hundreds.
Don't put nothing to the V. Anything to the V.
All in the V, yeah.
Yeah, V.
The only man I've ever seen get out caught at deep extra cover immediately after the opposition captain has just put 2 men out on the deep extra cover boundary.
Blytheswood,
Blytheswood, yeah.
Blytheswood, yeah. They put that was what's his name, Ginge. He said, "Oh, you just pack the field in that corner." And I just thought, well, it's going over the top of him. And you're right, I got caught on the boundary.
I've never seen 2 deep extra covers before in a cricket game, and then you hit it straight down one of them's throat.
Yeah, I mean, I was a good straight hitter on that and whatever, but the reason I'm not a Dow or Low or Kurt or whatever, if you bowled short or slightly into my legs and that, you know, I could stay in, but my scoring was straight and on the offside. That was about it, really, you know.
One thing about Scott, he really, in the old days when we had to umpire ourselves, he took his LBWs really well.
Yeah. Yes. Ask Rookie, ask the Wilkinsons, ask many people.
Matty Jones.
Oh, Jesus. That was a joke though, on tour. But yeah, Rookie, I mean, Rookie was umpiring me, my hero, like, he's giving me out and I'm walking off rubbing me nuts. I'm shaking my head. What have you done to me? I was never out. LB should be banned, in my opinion.
From my point of view, Scott, I mentioned earlier that you obviously picked the first thing for the first time, and a lot of what I learned as a captain came from you when you was captain in there earlier. Just the way you think about the game, positioning, like mix it up a little bit, just don't let things settle. And as everyone said before, like I was in the game. We actually pulled your hammy, which was. It was funny and not obviously funny at the same time, because you kept saying, "Don't make me laugh, don't make me laugh. It hurts when I laugh." Whereas we was carrying you off. But yeah, obviously your bowling speaks for itself, and the stats are unbelievable, like the 102 wickets. But yeah, more from a captaincy point of view, I took a lot from you in that period of time when I played under you.
Yeah, I came back. Just talking about the hammy, I came back the last time I played. It was about 2-3 years ago. Desperate to get out there, played with the freeze. I think it was. I can't remember. I think it was the freeze. And went out the field. I think it was Dave Ledford was captain. He said, "Where do you want to go?" I said, "Best put me in the slips." I think it was about the 3rd ball of the match. I turned to chase the ball, and that was my Gorswood career finished since. So I just can't do it. But I'd love to be out there. These boys that don't want to play anymore, it really winds me up. I miss it so much. I really do.
Good slip fielder as well, Jen. Me and you in the slips together. Very good slip fielder.
Specialist. Some would say not least the man himself.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a fair slip.
Yeah. We had a semi-final, a young international cup game over the back, over the annex. And you and Chaz went through the card, 5 each. We rolled them, 5 each.
Oh, actually, no. Let's get it right. I've got 6.
Sorry, 6 and 4. You rolled the bowl. Just tested you there, mate, see if you knew.
I must admit that day, Bridge told me the other day that's their greatest ever win as a club. That day, I had about 3 slips, 2 gullies and a point, and everything went to hand. I remember you, Dale. I think everyone, just every catch we got, it was a lovely ball. It was just moving off the seam. That is probably my favourite win because they was a strong team.
Yeah,
no one fancied us there, did they?
Same day, I was playing on the front with.
That's right. It was a league game, wasn't it?
And literally nobody in the league side could believe it when he came back over that the Gorswood could bowl young international out for.
Yeah, we rolled them. Yeah,
they were the preeminent team at the time.
No, we've had some. I mean, the 8 for 10 that I had the record for years that went, but I'd say I've got quite a lot of 8s and 7s, and I think, like as I say, my bowling was my strength, especially when I was younger. You know?
The year you got 100 wickets was just 5-wicket hauls of fun, wasn't it?
Yeah. There you go. We all get old, I suppose. There you go. We move on.
All right. Well, we'll move on to number 9. And I sneaked in.
I just want to go like this.
I'll be 1 sec, Rich.
Can we have a break, Rich?
We'll take a pause. I'll just debut in 2000. After 4 years playing for May & Bakers, was the first man to cross the car park of shame. Ostracised by May & Bakers for about 10 years afterwards. But joined Gorswood because I'd netted with them a bit over the winter, and it just seemed a lot more like my type of club. And got on with the blokes who played in the first team. They were just starting a comp. Second team was just getting going, and I thought it would be a perfect club for me to spend a long time with, and I'm still here. So I used to bat in the early days, nearly 5,000 runs at 27.5, but pretty much stopped batting when I started skippering, and really when all the match play teams started coming through in the mid 2000s. Just too many good young players coming through who needed opportunities to bat.
I've got to say, Rich, there was a time when you could actually move. I can't remember it. It seems so long ago, but because I remember your greatest innings for me was when we batted over Eastwood, and me and you went in. You come in. I think you might have been in at 3, and I came in at 4, or the other way around, whatever. I think you might have been 3.
We sent Dave Whisker and Billy Gell out to take the shine off.
Yes, and as captain that day, I looked up the weather forecast and I said it's going to piss down about 6 o'clock. So we've got to go out there and declare as early as possible. And you're at a not really good time. And people, that's what I say to people nowadays. You really could bet, you know. I want it known. I declared before I got the marathon.
I was just about to say that. It was one of the most selfless declarations. And even though you declared before you got your term, we still would have lost.
We drew the game. The funny end of that story was it stopped raining for a little while, but the ground was flooded. They were desperate to get back out there. And they came in the change room looking for the captain. And someone said, he's over there. And I was standing there just drying myself. And the bloke went, what do you reckon? And I went, I think we call it a day, mate. I'd had a shower. You was a top batsman as well as a bowler in your pomp.
Yeah. So for me, I don't really see you back. But for me, you are Mr. Reliable when it comes to bowling. You never shy away from challenges. You take responsibility, and you'd always put the ball on the spot. So to me, you're always a go-to man when it comes to the bowling situation. I've never seen you back. I've seen you back down the order, but I've never seen you in the back. But bowling-wise, mate, you know, another player, you're quality, mate. You're up there for me.
Yeah, I think with obviously you lose pace as you get older, but throw you the ball, tie the end up. You don't go for many runs. Maidens are fun, and I can remember playing against you when you played bowl for Bakers, and you know take a little bit of getting used to bowling the way you bowl, but and I think underrated batsman. You're an underrated batsman, Richie. Very good batsman.
Yeah, I was a bit quicker in the Bakers days actually. I probably got a lot of Achilles injuries playing basketball, and kind of lost most of the pace by the late 2000s, really, and then just kind of settled.
You had a few injuries, Rich, did you?
I did have a few injuries.
Sickly child.
Never would have thought that.
No, something's just come to mind. What was that team? They had a lot of South Africans played, and Richie used to, when he used to put him up the order, like in the days when he batted up the order, he used to have this thing where he used to warm up by sort of playing in front of a mirror.
Yeah, or the window, wasn't it? Yeah. See his reflection in the window.
Watching himself doing this, he used to drive me up the wall. I've never seen no one do it. He used to watch himself sort of back without doing it, in the mirror. Like
check the bats coming down straight.
Yeah, exactly. But that was a team. Yeah, I remember you done it at that South African team. I can't think of the name of them. They was all South Africans.
Faden Boys. It was.
That's it. Faden Boys.
Biff and Lowell put on about 190.
Yeah.
Faden Bois.
He was standing there warming up for about an hour and a half doing that, looking in the mirror.
So, Rich, when you first started playing cricket, was you what, an all-rounder? Was you a batsman, or was you an army bowler?
I mean, I guess like most people, if you're good at school, you do both. And yeah, I was an all-rounder though. I'd always pretty much open the bowling, and I used to bat 5 or 6, and generally used to come in and try and play a few shots.
So where did you start playing cricket?
Where did I start? I started playing in South Yorkshire. So I played in Rotherham, played for Rotherham Town, which was the Yorkshire League club in Rotherham in their junior section, and then played for a club called Wiston Parish Church, which was the club closest to me that are now in the top division of the South Yorkshire League. So I played there until I was about 21, and then moved down to London. So like cricket in Yorkshire is pretty strong. The league cricket's pretty tough up there. But where London differs is because you've got a lot more space in Yorkshire. A lot of clubs just have a couple of sides or 3 sides. You don't get the super clubs that you get in London, like Upminster running 7 teams and stuff like that. So even still at first team level in Yorkshire, you've got teams that had probably 7 or 8 good players, and then a few people kind of making the numbers up. So there's pros and cons, but I was impressed probably with the Shepherd Neame standard last year, I think.
So what would you say standard wise, if you're going to compare the two?
I mean, it depends. It depends what level you're playing at. The level I was playing before I moved down was probably higher than.
There's a lot of players played up there, isn't there? A lot of.
Yeah, like the South Yorkshire League was pretty good. It was probably a better standard, I would say, than the Premier Division of the Morant League or Essex County League when we won it. But it would have been about Division 2 of the Shepherd Neame probably. It wasn't like the top clubs in the Shepherd Neame are as good as any clubs in the country, and it wasn't that level.
Rich, how did you find it from like when you first obviously started playing with Goresbrook, very senior side, to then taking over captaincy, and then you had pretty much a team full of kids and Lowell? How did you find that? Did you enjoy that? Do you think it was a bit of a challenge? Was it a bit of a pain?
Time, by the way.
Don't think they existed then, Jen.
Yeah, it was a challenge. So the reason why I joined was probably the social side, and it wasn't that long after I joined that some of those players stopped playing, and the club changed a bit. But I also joined because there was a cult section, and I could see that there were a lot of people within the club who really wanted to develop and build a club. So, yeah, to be captain, I thought it was an honour to be captain, and I could see how good that match play team was in 2006. I went down to net with them one night at Barking Abbey, and apart from the nets being ridiculously springy down there and nearly killing Brian Atkins with a short ball, I could see that they had probably 7 or 8 players in that team who were going to be capable of playing first team cricket. So it was just a case of bringing those kids through, really, because you kind of had to moderate your aspirations a little bit during that period, because we weren't going to win the league for a few years. But if we did the right things and if we brought those players through, then I could see us being too much for a lot of teams in that league in 5 years' time, and that's basically how it happened.
Yeah.
What do you see
earlier from?
Go on, Kurt.
Sorry, Dan. Yeah, Rich, from my point of
Go on, Kurt.
Sorry, I think it was a pause there. Yeah, from my point of view, Rich, I spoke to Scott about this, I think, the other day, but bowling-wise, when I was captain, you were, for me, the number one in terms of, we ain't playing overs cricket. I'm not too worried about bowling teams out. If we could get enough runs, all I wanted to do is make sure the other team don't get that runs. And from my point of view, you bowling 10 or whatever it was you could bowl at the time for next to nothing was so important. And I think we can see already now, and I think Jordan and Shane definitely agree with this, over the last couple of years, we've missed that opening bowler. Obviously, Michael went as well, where we know that you can bowl 10 overs for next to nothing. Then, obviously, Shane came along as well. To have you and Shane bowling in tandem like we did for a while meant that the likes of Izzy, Kane could just go through other teams and bowl exactly how they wanted to bowl. We didn't really have to set a plan up for everyone else because the plan was for you and Shane just to completely smother the game. Obviously, Walshy was there before that as well to come on and take some wickets later on in the innings. But you were there to set it up for us in the innings. And I think we've definitely missed that since.
It's where age catches up because in later years, I remember Kurt, you'd say to me, like, Richard's got to bowl as many overs in one spell because basically that's him finished. He used to get stiffer than Randy West in one of his blue films after.
He was the slowest cricketer I've ever played with, Jen, as well. Like, he was running backwards, I swear.
No, I mean, I used to have that in late years when I was still bowling. You know, you get as many in and you think, there's no way I'm coming back on. I'm going to stiffen up. You know what I mean? You just...
No second spell.
Oh, God.
That was terrible. I couldn't even move.
For me, last year, when I was captain in the twos, you played for me quite a few games last year, and you was a godsend to me because I could just give you the ball and you should do your thing. But I used to ask you after every over if you was all right. And after every over, you'd go one more, I'll have one more, I'll have one more. And as Scott said, because you used to say that as soon as I stop, then that's it, I ain't going to be able to move now.
Yeah, we took a young team to Asians, remember, Richie? And I think I bowled you the whole innings from one end.
Yeah.
You bowled, God knows how many, was it 18 or 20 overs from one end? Just kept going.
23, I think it was.
23 overs from one end.
I couldn't move for about 2 weeks.
We could tell by the way you fielded.
Rich, so what are you doing going forward? Are you going to play or are you not going to play? What are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm going to play. I'll play until I can't move, till I absolutely can't move.
I'm coming back. I'm still seeing surgeons about my hamstring. I've got my elbow, my thigh, my foot. I'm still going to come back and play again. That's the ambition, anyway.
I mean, it is difficult when you've got young kids, but as much as I can get out there, I'll get out there. And I've been playing cricket on Saturday since I was about 14, so I don't know what to do otherwise. So.
Yes.
I'll keep going. All right.
Definitely missed the reliable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Number 10. So I'd just like to add, actually, the number 9 and 10 slots were very tight, and it was actually a 3-way tie between 3 players. So whereas the top 8 were all kind of voted in clearly, number 9 and 10 had to go to a revote, and the person who got the second vote at number 10 was number 164, Kane Messenger.
Rich, can I ask firstly, it looks like we're not going to have a keeper in this lineup then.
So keeper will be number 11.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So keeper, okay. So the only position that we kind of ring fence was we had to have a specialist keeper, and I've left it to the last.
Okay.
So Kane, debut in 2002. Again, he would have been 12 or 13 at that stage, 11 maybe, because he was only in a 15, I think, when they played the match play final in 2006. 450 games, just over 5,000 runs at just over 20, and 500 wickets at just under 20, and a ridiculous 280 catches over the course of 450 games. So the current and yet to captain a game first team skipper, Kane Messenger, is your number 10.
Unbeaten record of skipper, apparently.
Unbeaten first team skipper.
Don't mention that. Don't mention that, please.
To be fair, he's the modern day rookie, I think, because when if Kane plays on any day, you're going to get 100% out of him. He's not going to go out there and mess about and not give everything. He tries when he bowls, he bats, and he's fielding, as we know. Personally, he's not the greatest bowler ever bowled at the club. He's not the greatest batsman. He's one of the great fielders. But all round, and the whole attitude and everything is what gets him into this team, because he's just decent at everything he does on a cricket field, and his attitude is superb.
Yeah, no, I agree with you say, Scott. Talented wise, I won't put him as the most talented, but when he does play, it's the same as Steve. You'll get 120% out of Kane, and he expects 120% of everybody else. And for me, also, Ted played a lot of Sunday cricket last year with Shane and Kane, and Ted really enjoyed playing with the pair of them, because the pair of them encouraged him so much. He loved every minute of it. So for me, just for his commitment when he plays, I think he's brilliant. And as you said, fielding wise, he's probably the best fielder I've seen in this club, Kane. Boy's quality in the field, absolute quality.
I think he's batting. I think he's now scoring the runs he should. I think for the last few years, maybe underachieved as a batsman, but now he's coming good as a batsman. He's got the talent, hasn't he?
You think
to be fair,
go on, Kurt.
He hasn't trained because of his side strain and stuff like that, and football commitments. He doesn't train a lot. So for someone who doesn't train, what he's achieved and how he is as a player is quite unbelievable, really.
Because his natural talent, isn't it?
Yeah, over the last 10 years, I could barely remember him netting or anything like that. And it's just his dedication to the club is completely 100%, or actually probably more than 110%. Yeah. He bowled some of the best spells I remember seeing in tight situations. Batting wise, he digs you out of holes. He might not score runs when everyone else is scoring runs, but he's the one who come in at 6 or 7 or 8 in some cases. The year we won the league the first time, and just dig us out of a hole with 30, 40, whatever it might be. He'll just be that person you need. He bowled deaf. His fielding was unbelievable.
Kurt, little question. If when the season kicks in, whether it's next year or whatever, and if he's captain now, do you think really he should be pushing himself up and batting a bit higher? Because he doesn't give himself a chance. The way he bats, he's not a slogger, he's a player.
Decent bat.
I think he likes to float, to be fair, because I think Kane likes a situation rather than being told that that's what you do.
I wouldn't like the same as well. I wouldn't like the bat with him, he'd kill me.
Yes, yeah. I think Kane's the best situation player we've ever had, in the terms of, if there's a situation where you need us to really knuckle down and dig in and get some runs, he'll do that. Where he's opened the batting on Sundays and liked it, but he's opened on Saturdays and he hasn't enjoyed it as much. I think for Kane, he quite enjoys the pressure, and whether that be bowling to death or opening the bowling in some cases, or coming in a situation where we're in right trouble, I actually think Kane's suited to that and he enjoys that more. The one thing I want to see as captain is to see how he actually acts, because coming from being a young boy, as you probably remember, Scott, when he came through the Colts and stuff like that and into the twos, who never said nothing, he, like Michael, was turned into a complete lunatic as well towards the end of the latter part of his career, where he's a nightmare to captain, whether it be because he wants to do everything and win the game for everyone. I remember a game, Rich, you and Rich Kane were the only two seams I had over at Scintilla. Dale, you played that game as well.
Yeah.
I spoke to Kane and said, mate, I need you to own the bowling, but you can only bowl 5 or 6 overs max, because Richie's got to bowl his 10, otherwise he'll fall over. So I need you to come back on at the death. We had a chat about it before and everything like that. After his 5-6 overs, I pulled him off and he went absolutely ballistic because he couldn't believe he was being taken off, despite the fact that that was the whole plan. So from that point of view, he's a captain's dream in terms of doing things for the team, but he can also be a complete nightmare. And I've had to spend a lot of money on umpires to make sure that we there's no bans imposed on him after he's kicked stumps over and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All in all, one of my best mates and a top bloke.
The thing is, I still think Kane needs to play with that edge, even though he's going to be captain. He still needs to play with that aggressive and competitive edge he's got. Because if you take that away from him, that's going to kill him. He's got to play with that aggressive, with that edge. He's got to.
I better play then, Dale, so I can apologise to everyone after.
It's funny, Kurt, you say about what he's like. Now, you look at Rookie, the same, Steve, same sort of thing, off the field, gentleman. Now, look at Kane when he helped me all them years with the match play team. Kids loved him. Right, never see an angry word out of the bloke. Do you know what I mean? Really brilliant with all of them. They all loved him there. But he's another rookie. Get him on across the boundary line, and he just turns into something else, doesn't he?
Yeah. Mr. Gorsbrook.
And nothing better as a spinner. He's bowling, and you put Kane out a long off, and goes in the air. He just don't even bother looking. It's out. You know what I mean? Fantastic.
unless you're playing May and Bakers in a game when you can clinch the league, and he did drop their best player.
The sky was too blue, wasn't it?
The sky was too blue. Yeah, he did catch him the next over.
Too blue.
But
I've never seen him drop a catch. I've never seen him drop a catch.
Very rare, Dale. They're very rare.
It does happen.
All the games I've played in and watched with Kane, I've never seen him drop a catch. Never. I haven't.
Yeah, I also think he's one of the best death bowlers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He's somebody. He just needs that adrenaline. He needs a contest, and he just runs in, and he's not a guy who puts it on a sixpence or puts it on a handkerchief, but he's just at you. He bowls a really good skiddy bounce. I think he should probably bowl more, and he bowls just very aggressively at the stumps, and he's always in your face as well. If you're a batsman and you're looking to try and negotiate the last few overs, and you got Kane charging in and following through and swearing at you, and it's just you know he's up for the contest. And I've seen a few occasions where the batsmen are just not, and they take a step back.
Well, if they try and take a quick single and he shouts out, "I dare you!"
Angry man.
When he was at the pomp of his fielding as well, you didn't even need a mid-on, because he would just do mid-on, like long off and long on. He'd just run around and take the catch off of them. No matter who was fielding there, he'd run in front of him and take the catch. Just different class with the fielding.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. But as I said before, with the kids as well, some of the younger boys playing on a Sunday, Kane, he was quality with the younger boys as well. Encouraged them all the time. It was good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the first 10. So number 11 is the wicket keeper, and this was the only position that we absolutely had to have. The rest, I took the view that we'll kind of get the top 10 vote getters and then see how the balance of the side looks. But the wicket keeper was also the closest vote. So there were three people who were in the running. There was Peter Ivory from the older days. There was Chris Burke from the kind of mid 2000s to relatively recently, and then there was Danny Gillam Jr., who come on the scene in the last few years and has really impressed a lot of people. And there wasn't more than 3 votes between the three of them, but the winner was Peter Ivory, player number 54, debut in 1990, finished in 2008. And the thing that struck me when I was looking at the stats is, his figures are very, very similar to Chris Burke's across all facets, really. They both averaged that kind of 18.5-ish. Chris Burke scored a few hundreds. Peter famously never scored 100, was out for 99.
Ilford away, I was umpire.
Doing the scorebook.
But yeah,
he had it up on the score hut all the way through as well.
Was a really useful batsman in the way that a lot of wicket keepers are, and that they just kind of dab the ball about and then run around like nutters. And then behind the stumps, I mean, he got 63 wickets as well, which I don't think I ever saw him bowl in a game. But yeah, 206 catches, 52 stump-ins, just a quality wicket keeper and somebody who you could kind of build your effort in the field around, because he knew that he was going to take the big catches and was just going to be tidy behind the stumps.
I think what's impressive about Peter is he wasn't a natural wicket. When he wasn't a wicket keeper, he made himself into a wicket keeper. It was very good.
We started off. We had Dave Keowana, didn't we? It was a top keeper, wasn't he? And at the early days, and then we never really had a natural keeper. We had Rookie doing it, Steve List. I think Dale's done it in the past. I think
Marv,
obviously. And Peter came along and took it on, and then that was it. It was it. It was sorted. It was like. But one thing I'll say about it, he was a really good fielder out in the day. Like I was on about, I don't know, I was talking to this about going back a bit. When that Millennium Cup, he took one of the best catches I've ever seen. He was out on the boundary, and he sort of one hand about 6 foot off the floor, like with his feet off the floor. He was a really good fielder, so he had everything. But Pete's just a genuine. I just love Pete as a person. Just that's a nice bloke.
Top bloke, yeah.
He just if you ask him to do anything on the cricket field, he'd do it. He'd never question if you said you're number 11. Just get on with it and do his best. He's a great person to have on the team.
Yeah, proper team man, Peter.
And I remember when he got the record,
I think he was
over black shots. I remember he got the record to beat the wicket, like the amount of take-ins or whatever. And it really went down well. The team was really over the moon. Like, he was a popular boy.
Yeah. I think Pete was quality bringing the likes of us through and giving us a go. But it's just, you say, top bloke. And he was a quality keeper. Towards the end, I think where Rich, you was probably captain at that time as well, and then me afterwards, he was brilliant, wasn't he? And it was only like Mitch, I think Mitchison broke his finger. I'm not sure if Berkey was playing at the time, where I think he had his sort of sabbatical after the match play final for a few years, Berkey. And Pete kept in the ones for quite a long time, and he was brilliant. Just encouraging. It was great to have another old head around the team as well, where it was such a young side to have Richie, Pete, and Lowell generally, and Dale occasionally when he fancied it would play, and it was great from that point of view. Top bloke, great keeper, really good standing up. I remember as well. Lowell took a load of stumpings off you for sure.
Very good for me. Took a lot of stumpings for me. Yeah.
All I can say is it was a position that I think caused us all the hardest choice, and you know what I would say is Peter probably got it because of his longevity, and you know it just he's played a lot longer. Maybe I don't know. Berkey, Shane always used raved about him, and then to be fair, young Danny, Shane said to me he's the best keeper he's ever played with. So they've all got their, they're all three of them could have got in this team. That's what I'm basing.
Yeah. Berkey, it was a toss between Peter and Berkey for me. Berkey was natural keeper.
He's a bit obviously he's not played enough yet. Probably once if you stuck with it and played the Gauze for a few more years, he'd be walking into the team. Probably.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He's got the talent. Yeah.
So I know it's my brother, but he's an absolute gentleman. I mean, he is. He is, and he is.
He's brother, then, isn't he?
Yeah. Again? One of the brothers has got to be, isn't he?
All right. So there's the 11. So the next couple of slides we're just going to go through a couple of people who were near misses on both the batting and the bowling front. So if we go on to the batsman, oh no, sorry, I forgot about that. So the ignore that. The 12th person, the person who was tied with me and Kane on the seamer front was Izzy, and if you look at Izzy's batting stats, you kind of wonder how the hell he got that 50. But if he ever decided which way round he was going to bat, he would probably be a much more useful batsman. But on the bowling front,
bet both ways.
Yeah. In the same game as well, Dale.
He done that against Hornchurch Athletic, Kurt, didn't he? Gave up for the right arm.
Grays and Chadwell.
Grays and
Chadwell. He hit 6 right-hand, he hit 4 right-handed and a 6 left-handed, I think.
In the same over, Matt Hill's back over his head twice, once right-handed, once left-handed.
They're the same over?
Yeah. So he did it.
I think they were consecutive balls.
He did it first of all against Hornchurch Athletic, and so he switched mid-over, and Humphreys at slip just laid into him, said, look, he's not schoolboy cricket now. And then a few years later, they had us 9 down in the final of the 2020 at Fords. Izzy came out. I think he is a natural right-hander batsman. He came out and batted left-handed. We needed 8 off the last over, and he hit Hutch for 2 cover drive 4s, batting left-handed, and won us the game. And if that had been me, I'd have been all over Humphreys at that stage.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's funny how people chirp at him. Funny how people chirp at him when he was batting and not bowling, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, we've talked too much about his batting here. His batting didn't deserve that long.
Yeah.
But his bowling, I personally had him in my 11. Without saying my team, he was in my 11 because I just think you can't not have someone in your team that he's another Steve at his best years ago. Right, you could say you need both, but when I've seen him bowl, like I just love being over there because you just think, just bowl the thing straight. Don't get it down the leg side, bowl top of our stump. You're going to get wickets at this level. And I remember the game that always sticks in my mind was we was away at Benfleet in the Sunday League, and I was sitting on the line with my missus and a few of the crowd, and they was I don't know what division they're in, but there was a higher division on the Saturday than us. And they had quite a good strong team there. And I was listening to them on the line saying, I don't want to go in if he's still bowling. Don't want to go in if he's still. But I literally was scared to face him. And that's why I think when someone's that quick, I'd have him I'd sneak him in the team at number 11. But obviously, I'm happy with the team we've got. But he's close. He should, he's one of the main men I would have had in the team.
Yeah.
As you said just there, he was in the twos a couple of times last year with me. And when the batsmen were coming out, they'd face one ball. And then the next ball, as he was bowling, they'd just walk away from the wicket. One fella just said, I ain't facing that. Just walked away from the stumps and Izzy just blew him up. Just didn't want to face him.
Yeah.
Can I just add also, what a lovely bloke as well. What a lovely kid.
Yeah.
It was top man.
In the first, when we used to go away with the first team, used to go to Thurrock and like I'll be in the first car at Thurrock and you walk in and you got Matt Hills and his brothers there going, is Izzy playing today? Is Izzy playing today? And he was, and I'll go, no, he's not playing today. He's got a wedding or something. And they go, oh, thank God. And they go in the dressing room, tell them, oh, Izzy's not playing. And all of a sudden, Izzy walks in. They used to scare the life out.
Yeah,
because he was very quick.
I would not want to face him.
No.
Not in the prime. I wouldn't want to face him.
Kurt, what was the game you got the 9 to 24? Because I mean that's the record as well, wasn't it?
I think it's High Roding or someone like that. Rayleigh was in the T Ripon. But that wasn't one of his best spells. I mean, he went for a patch where I think he took something like over one weekend. He took 4 wickets in 2 overs, 2 days running, and one of them was Hornchurch away. And Hornchurch played a really, really good side on a Sunday. Like Billy Gordon was playing most of their first team. The day before we played Leighton County and got rolled for about 150. We were going to lose. Things that just hadn't worked out. Izzy came on and took 4 in 2 overs, like blew the whole game open, won the game for us basically. The next day, the same thing happened. We got a better score on a better deck, but Billy and some of the old Hornchurch boys were knocking it round. He came on and absolutely cleaned up. I think he took 4 in 2 overs again, won us the game. And he's one of the people that I've ever played with. When you've walked off the pitch after, as everyone says, they all talk about him.
Yeah.
Say, how did you get that guy over? Like, why does he play for you? It's just because he was so quick. And when he got it right, I mean, some days he didn't, but.
Kurt, you can fill me on this one. The true story. Is that true that he stopped bowling bouncers because he hit someone and he didn't want to hurt anyone? Is that right?
He liked bowling bouncers, but
he
started bowling them.
Someone told me that he hit someone and he decided that he didn't want to risk hurting anyone, so he was really reluctant to bowl a bouncer.
Well, one of the last seasons he played in that T Ripon League, he hit Jim Simmons, who's the best batsman in that league, on the head first ball with a bouncer. So I don't think he kept his promise if that was what he was going to do.
Yeah,
but for me, it's the Yorkers. When he got it right and he bowled quick and straight and full, he used to just nip it down the hill slightly. He took 8 against Barking. He took 5 over Rankins and Burnham on Crouch as well. I think he took 6 clean bowled wickets, all Yorkers.
The problem is you wouldn't want to keep to him when he bowls in leg side wide. So Jesus.
Well, when he gets it right, he's devastating. But when he gets it wrong, he gets it wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
initiation to the first team. He was a new player in the first team. Jordan will talk about this when he first came into the ones. Your job was to field at fine leg to Izzy. Basically, just wear it.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason why
done that for a few years.
The only reason why he wouldn't have got in the team is because there was that erraticism about him. But I think if looking back on it, if I think about the 5 best spells I've seen from Goresbrook bowlers, he's probably got 3 of them. And when he got it right, it was just unbelievable. And it's you almost like transfixed watching it because you just don't see somebody who is that level of kind of athlete or bowling that quickly at our level at all. So even when I was coming over with Henry, if we were opening the bowling after tea, I'd stay and watch Izzy because it's absolute box office. Yeah. I can remember him shaking Bentley up in a 3 or 4 over spell when they were the best team in the league, and he just opened the game completely up because when he got it right, you don't get people bowling over 80 miles an hour in our cricket very often.
He's a tough man to slip to, isn't he? Izzy as well. I think I've dropped so many off Izzy. Yeah. I think I've took 1 catch off, maybe 2. 1 at gully and 1 at slip. Yeah. Very hard to slip.
He's another man, if you haven't seen him, his action takes a while to pick up because he comes from kind of so far back there. And like, whereas with my action, you've got a bit more time to react. With Izzy's action, you don't.
But his run-up's not even quick, is it? His run-up's not quick. It's just like a bit like Michael Holden, really. Nice and relaxed. And when he gets that last
when it's smooth, it's good.
Yeah.
I quite liked his unpredictability, particularly when he first came into the first team more regularly, because if we didn't know what he was doing, the batsman didn't know for a start. So setting the field to him was difficult. But I remember over at Barking, I think he bowled 5 wides to Odell, and the 3rd ball knocked 2 stumps clean out the ground.
Yeah, took his leg stump out.
As a batsman, how you meant to expect that?
That's right.
Yeah. And that for me, the unpredictability was towards the end, I think we sort of said to Izzy, just bowl quick. Don't worry about the consequences. Just bowl quick.
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, 401 wickets. It's a hell of a lot of wickets, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's just under 16 as well. An absolute match winner.
Yeah.
All right, so now we'll do what I said we were going to do, and just have a quick look at a couple of people on both the batting and bowling front who were near misses. So on the batting side, the two people who got the most votes didn't make the team. Andy Livett at the top, and then Jordan Calverley at the bottom. So Marv, obviously an absolute legend of the club in the fact that he's played from day one to the present day, still churning out runs, ridiculous number of runs, 22,000 runs at 30, 2100, still hungry for runs. And what a lot of people who play now don't realise is that Marv was a very effective bowler. Back in the day, he was still bowling when I first started playing, and Scott's already touched on it. He used to try and hustle the batsmen, just get through those overs as quickly as possible, bowl before they were ready. But 678 wickets at just less than 20, and just a really good cricketer.
Marv's getting batting. He's getting better the older he gets. He wasn't as good as he is now 25 years ago, I don't think. I think he's getting better and better. He's got such a good eye for someone who's 56 now, 57. Brilliant.
Sorry, I've just come back, but I've just missed a bit there. But so with Andy, I'm glad you mentioned Andy, and both them too. But yeah, Andy, I was going to say to you, Lowell, in that later life, when he's played 2s, 3s, 4s, you just think he's going to get runs today. You just know at that level, in his later life, he's just like a machine, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got a great eye. Really good eye, Andy.
Jordan, the other one on the screen there, obviously class player, but he would have had to get in the 6 as a batsman, and he just couldn't quite get him on team in front of that 6. But another one who's a class player.
JC, I've played a couple of games with JC and under him as a captain as well. He's done what you were saying about Dale. You saying about the boys Kane helping your boy on a Sunday. I see it with JC. I played a couple of games for him on a Sunday, and they really brought the youngsters through. Terrific batsman. He would have been in my 15. We do the same thing in 5 years, 10 years time. I've got no doubt that JC would be in the 11. Terrific player. One of the best innings I've seen him play, 100 in the cup final. I mean, how good's that? Score 100 in the cup final, win the cup final. Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, with
I'm with you, Lowell. Like that cup final innings was up there, was just different gravy. And the way he's developed as a player as well, like to change his whole way he bats, like the stance and everything like that.
Kurt, where does stance come from?
He kept getting LBW. So he opened the batting me for quite a long time, and he got LBW, I think, 3 times in 4 innings. So he decided just to change his whole setup so he wouldn't be walking across his stumps. So he stands alongside outside leg now in order to try and stay in line. And I don't think, to be fair, he's been LBW very much since, to be honest. I think it was like LBW and behind the way he did it. So he changed it completely. But the way he's done that and been so successful at it and actually made him a better player. I mean, I could never change the way I bat, really, that to that level and be as successful as he was. And it also came about for the best sledge I've ever seen when I think he got out against Springfield and they told him to go back to Dagenham and take his unorthodox stance with him, in different words.
Yeah.
For me, the pair of them are both quality players. Both batsman-wise are both quality. Pair of them.
Where's JC's bowling stats, Richie?
I didn't put them in actually. It's an embryonic.
Leave them out. Never bowled.
JC. He's in the last 2 or 3 years. He's just got comfortable with the way he plays, and in terms of players in the first team who can score 100, he's right up there with anybody I've seen. If he gets in, you just back him to go on and get a big score. Which is what batsmen should do. They should, do the hard yards, and then he's also just as effective against seam as he is against spin. And there are a lot of good Gaursbrook players, and Mar's probably one of them, who's more comfortable with pace on the ball and kind of knows their game. And when you get a good spinner, they're kind of struggle to get the ball away, whereas JC is very aggressive against spin bowling, plays the crossback shots well. Yeah, I mean, I think in 5 years' time, he'll be in the team.
To be fair, I don't know if you remember him, Kurt, but all us lot will remember Peter Willey, the batsman. And he's so similar. He's so similar. And it didn't stop him playing for England. So you could say about the stance, but, you know.
The key is he's still, when you hit the ball, he looks like it's a normal stance. It's just the way he starts. The way he starts his stance is where it looks unorthodox. But I actually think that gets into the bowler's head and it's done him a favour massively because actually people are worried more about him straight away than the other way around.
I was just going to say,
they're already worried about how to bowl.
Yeah. With JC, he's got plenty of chirp as well. So with the unorthodox stance, he might get a bit of sledging, but he loves it. He'll give it back, so he thrives on it.
To be fair as well about Marv,
before his arm went.
I went off for a break there. I don't know if you mentioned Marv's bowling, but at the right level, Marv is a real nasty bowler to face at the right level. Like I said earlier, he would bowl before you took your head up. The amount of players have stood up and gone, hold on, mate, hold on. He'd try every trick in the book to get a wicket, Marv. Anything, it was like that with money, anyhow. No, he was a very good bowler as well, Marv.
Was very good bowler. He bowled for you last year, Dale, didn't he? He
did just me last year. Bowled quite well last year.
All down Neil.
Yeah, no, he did. He bowled very well. Very well.
One of the favourite guys I've played with over the years because you know he's turning up for a contest. You know he's going to give his best. You know he wants to score runs, and he's got the driest sense of humour that I've ever come across. So
he plays with a smile on his face, Rich.
He does,
With a smile on his face.
Not always. Believe him.
Back played, yeah.
I've had you fall out of Marv over years, but you get over it, don't you? You know, it's
Marv. I mean, when Marv was captain, he fell out with a player or two and offered them out in the car park, Richie, didn't he? Once upon a time.
I do seem to recall that happening. Yeah.
Good at press ups, Low, as well, isn't he?
Press ups. Marv's a one off, isn't he? I mean, what a character to play with.
And his clothing. Has anyone wore 4 or 5 layers of clothing when it's been over 80 degrees?
Kurt has a go, to be fair.
Only a short jumper, Rich. That's all I wear.
All right.
Dready could do 20 press ups on top of me for ill now,
though. we haven't even talked about his transgression onto the pitch at Essex games either.
But there was money at stake.
All right, so on the bowling front, I'll just set this up. There's two bowlers who got a significant number of votes. The top one's Steve Brooker, the bottom one, Lee Barwick. Now, Steve Brooker is probably a guy who, if the voting panel had been different, would have been in the team because pretty much everybody who played with him or saw him play has voted for him. And then the other half of the people, but if you look at his numbers, he's got 5,400 runs. I think the average is covered up. I think it's in the sort of 23, 24 region, but 478 wickets at less than 13, which is obviously pretty much the best of anybody in the whole presentation.
He played. I always think a record. He came in and played, and then he seemed to play for an amount of years, and then went. And that was it. He was gone. But he was in my 11, obviously, like you said. And we had some fun games. I mean, he's another one with some dry humour there, believe you me. But he's he could just bowl and bat at a really good level. He wasn't the greatest fielder in the world. He just eyed him, obviously. But he was another one of the eyeders. But he was. To me, he was a really, really good bowler, and he used to open the batting a lot because we did used to struggle with anyone to open with low in the league, But he's bowling. He got a quad trick. I remember that he got 4 clean bowls on the trot.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What did he bowl?
He bowled like he was similar sort of pace to me, I would say, and he bowled quite accurate, but similar sort of bowler, really.
He always took the right time. If you needed someone to take a wicket, he'd always get your wickets.
He's good already, and he's still playing now. He's moved down to Sussex, Chichester, and he still plays now, Wrecker. Very good player. Very good. He's in my team. Very good player.
Yeah, and how would you describe the standard? So those early years, obviously, you read the handbook, and Goresbrook were promoted. Number of years on the trot, winning leagues. What was the standard like in those days?
I'd personally think that it's like trying to compare the football in the 60s and 70s with now. Like nowadays, they've got a lot more advantage on the pitches. Everything seems to be playing on better standards and etc. etc. But on the other hand, it's an hard one to judge because in that era, I do think we had just a superb team in that 80s that everyone played every game available. No one ever said, I'm playing golf today, or I don't fancy it, I'm going to play football. Well, the loyalty of that team and the talent in that team was amazing. What I'd love to have done was played in a team in a match play when we was all young. Sort of era. That would have been amazing. But obviously now it's hard to compare. There's some great players now. I don't think you can. I just think I can only go by what I've seen with my eyes, and I've seen some great young players in that now. But the 11 I picked is very close to what's been picked here, and I do think at the moment that I think I've got 6 from the olden days, 5 from the modern day. So there's no set thing that we were better or anything else. I just think we did have more individual talented players in them days, and probably better teams now.
Different times, like you say, weren't there? I mean, we used to go. We'd get the minibus and when we was playing friendlies and go anywhere, and we'd turn up in South London on a park pitch playing a West Indian team. We're all bowling like 70 mile an hour plus, no lids or nothing on a park pitch. And you just get on with it. We played a team. We played a team over in Wembley, another West Indian team, and then we said, "Oh, you go for a drink afterwards?" And they went, "Oh no, one of our fellas has got married. You can come to the reception." They invited us back to the reception on Broadwater Farm. We was on Broadwater Farm, the only white people on Broadwater Farm at a West Indian.
Like you say, you played teams like Asians back then. I think Asians were a lot better. Young International and teams like I remember that team Indian Gymkhana. We turned up at some friendly on a Saturday. They got us, and I went out the bat, and this geezer was bowling. I ain't exaggerating, like over 70 mile an hour and turning it sideways as a spinner. I've never faced nothing like it. So like I say, we did play against some real high standards back then, but that's the only thing I'd say. We played on worse pitches. That's the only advantage they got now. But you could argue it both ways in different ways. Like I say, when we played Young Internationals, we had to bowl their lids, didn't we? I
would say that I do personally think that we faced more intimidating bowling and quicker bowling and more aggressive bowling. But the bowling now is a lot more accurate. They don't give you nothing to it now. You get nothing. You've got to work for your runs now. Back in the day, we used to play our shot, Scott, because you get a bad ball. But today, I think you've got to work harder for your runs.
That's what I'm saying.
I think the spinners now are pretty good, to be fair. I think spin's taken over in the last couple of years.
We never really faced any spinners.
I hate facing spinners.
Yeah, there's loads of spinners, and the spinning standard's good. I think you're right. I think quick bowlers, there's not many that we've faced over the last couple of years that they're good seamers, like you said, Dale, like on the spot, don't give you anything to hit. But I wouldn't say there's from what you guys were saying, we'd face 2 or 3 quick bowlers this season. Seriously quick bowlers this season, where I think you guys might have faced more, but I think we face the spin is different. I think in this, probably because of the pitches as well. I think there's a lot better spinners and there's more of them. So you have to vary your game a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we played teams like Falls in their pomp. Falls were probably the best team on their pomp I've ever played against. And you go over there, and you literally know you're going to get hammered. And we'd go over there and we'd give it a good go. Sometimes we might get all out for about 150, 160, and they might, if they're batted first, we lose by 50, 60, 80 runs, and that's a good game. But what I'm saying is, that was on good wickets, so we could. It's hard to judge because, like I say, I think we would have been better players now because we'd have had the more chance with the Colts and everything else. But on the other end, some of the boys now, the ones we've got in the team and some of the others we just mentioned, would have done well back then, probably. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think anyone's better than anyone else.
Let's not take it away from the boys we've got playing there. Some of the boys we've got playing there, them fellas are absolute quality players. They are quality players.
They could have played back then and done well as well. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. There's no real.
Yeah, no. I think that's good. That's testament to the club. That's the way Goresbrook is, isn't it? You could drop 6 from today's team into 30 years ago and vice versa, and it would be fine. It'd be seamless, I think.
All right, let's have a quick look at Chaz.
Chaz wasn't in. I've got a bit. I don't know if he's watching this. I didn't have him in my 11, and he's my brother, but he was one of them again. Absolutely superb at that level as a bowler who could bat. He's a bowler.
Yeah, mainly a bowler, wasn't he? Yeah.
Bowling was. I remember Bellis. We played a league game against Bellis, who were good in them days as well. And I was captain, I think. And he opened the bowling for me. And I just kept bowling him in the days when you could no limits. And I thought, I can't take him off till he gets it for a run. And in the end, I think he bowled 12 overs for 1 run in a spell. You know, he was very, very straight and accurate. And he wasn't as, he wasn't massively quick. But he had a great eye with the bat. I remember the 163, that was the record for a few years when he opened the bat on a Sunday. He could hold a bat as well. There's another one that hit the ball straight, etc. But he just didn't quite get in this. But he definitely deserves a mention. So I'm glad you mentioned.
Lee was a bit like you, Scott. He could bowl after a few pints. You know.
That is true, Ron.
And I'll be batting over Old Church Park, and I'll look up at the Foresters clubhouse here, and on the balcony is Scott and Lee drinking, and I'll come off and do me pieces, have a go. You got a bowl yet? What's the matter with you? And they go out and take 5 wickets apiece. So that was it. Carry on drinking next week, lads. I'll get you a beer in. You know?
Yeah, I think beer was part of the. Now that's the only thing I will say about the previous and to this day. Could the youngsters of this day turned up at a game and had 3 or 4 pints before the match and still competed as well as we did? Maybe we're better drinkers.
I wouldn't let them know, Scott. That's the thing.
Bernie and Joe Curley.
I banned drinking. When I came captain, I banned drinking on a Saturday.
Well,
Sundays, all right?
When I was captain, I did get a bit more, maybe this is not right.
Yeah. Well, I've jumped with Michael Rook, and he's a chip off the old block, and I won't be taking him on a drinking competition. And Bert as well.
I think we'll do all right, but after the game, the youngsters, Chaz will be in my drinking team for sure, 100%. He'd be number 1, actually. He'd be definitely number 1. But going back to his cricket sort of thing, he's bowling in the nets is one of the hardest to face. He bowled such a heavy ball, great length, like line of length, didn't give you anything to hit. Found him harder to face in the nets than a lot of the other bowlers that I sort of grew up with and stuff like that, because I don't know whether you weren't expecting it to come on as quickly as it was, and where he just didn't give you anything. I think you like bowling to lefties as well.
Very skiddy action. Very skiddy.
Yeah, quite sidearm as well.
Yeah.
Depending on how many sellers he's had, it get lower and lower and lower.
Yeah.
Always makes the batsman play, Chaz, as well. Always made him play.
And he was part of that.
I never leave, and I like to leave.
National semi-final, so that was his,
6 and 4.
Yeah, 6 and 4. I'll get it right. Just got to say, I've got to mention it. Danny Walker wanted me to mention that he's the only player to hit 4 consecutive 4s in a match with one hand.
Was he playing tennis?
He cut his hand, didn't he?
He just let go of it, didn't
he? So before we move on to summarise the team, is there anybody else who anybody wants to mention who we think we've missed out on here?
Well, the one that came up when we were talking on the texting was there was a couple of players we mentioned. I mentioned Jamie earlier, didn't play enough. And the other one that was quite interesting was John Eli, wasn't it? Tarzan.
He only played 1 season, didn't he? 20 odd games. So
he was. We lacked that opening batsman that bat were low for years, and he came in, and we won't go through the old story. He was a strange bloke, but the year he did play, he only worried about himself, to be honest. Moaned about everything. Lee was talking earlier about. He used to moan about the teas, and then when he had to do his own tea, I think he got his mum and sister to do it or something. He used to always moan about everything, but I think Dale tried to fill him in once as well. But he could bat. The boy could bat. There's no doubt about it. I don't know what his stats were that season, but he was a very good player.
Yeah, I mean, he did get a vote from somebody who played in that era who really rated him. I mean, there were probably 30 players who got a vote from various people.
While I'm doing my one, Shane brought up a name as well to me, and I'd never give it a thought, but I used to really love him. He thought he was going to be the star of the future for the Cubs. That was Andy Mitchison.
Yeah, Mitch. We went to Mitch.
Well, he was a great bowler, terrific bat, really good. It's a shame what happened to him and he went and everything else, but he was one that I thought was a very good player.
Colin Smith was decent.
Never had a shower, but could he bat?
Yeah.
Is that where Smith came from? Is that the original Smith?
That's why you're Smith to this day if you don't shower.
Yeah, never shower, the boy, yeah. Blowsy, Johnny Blows.
Johnny Blows got a vote?
Yeah, he was on my 15. Another one came in, but I didn't. He's probably just the Mayan Baker thing. He didn't quite come at like didn't play as long enough as Richie, did he?
No.
It's like Apple. I'll give Apple a mention. When Apple played the Mayan Bakers, he was one of the hardest blokes to get out I ever bowled against. Even though I think I had him plumb a few times, but when he came to Goresbrook, he was past his best. But he was a superb batsman in his prime, without a doubt.
Bolt played, well, it's been played since we first started as well. Another one who's played all these years, Mark.
So Toby, who was in the match 15.
Clubman out there, like he's another one of them, and Martin. Absolutely gives everything.
Yeah, I mean, players you can or people you can mention who, not the all due respect, not the greatest players in the world, but Shang and my brother Gary started the club off.
Yeah.
If it weren't for them two, we wouldn't be sitting here doing this now.
I'll blow my trumpet on one thing. Gary Walsh, your brother, was desperate to get a ton all his Goresbrook career, and we was playing the Sunday. I think it was a Sunday friendly over at Parkside, King George's. And I was captain on that Sunday, and he opened the bat. He must have opened the bat because otherwise he'd have took him 3 weeks to get there. And I came in about number 6 or 7 or 8 or something, and I said to him, we're not declaring until you get this ton. And I literally made him run up and down. I batted with him for about 3/4 an hour, and that was one of the most pleasing drinks I've ever had after a game. Me and him, I made him beer me up. But, I was so pleased that he got his ton.
We was playing in a cup final for the Elks, and that's when the pub shut at 3 o'clock on a Sunday. And I got a phone call from, I think it was from Marv, and he said, "Get down the park side." He said, "Your brother scored a ton. He's buying all the drinks." So we had to jump in a cab and get down there. Unbelievable.
To be fair to Bag, he bought me beers when I was a school kid. Him and Dean, well, you reckon you did, but I remember your brother always bought me beers when he was a young school kid. So
Bag made a quality tea. He always made a tea bag. He says, "Do a quality tea bag."
Yes, the old booby.
Yeah, the old booby prize.
Kurt mentioned Toby there. Toby got 3 or 4 votes, actually.
Toby and Chrissy Burke, yeah.
Yeah,
Toby Moore is another one, cracking player I've seen over the last 15 years. Toby Moore is a superb player. Just wish he'd play a bit more, Toby, if you're listening.
I think he's retired. He's a golfer.
Pretty good playing golf.
I mean, other people who got votes: Joe Wilkinson, Dave Whisker, the twos, Willis and Botham in the early 2000s.
My opinion on them two, and I think I said to Kurt, if you was picking your best ever second team, I'd have both of them in it at their pomp. Joe was a very good bowler, and along with Dave, they were very good bowlers. People see Joe now and just think he bats but before he'd done his elbowing, he had some great stats as a sort of second team bowler. Very good bowler. And Dave
probably should have played more first team cricket.
Used to bowl 20 over straight through when that twos first came about in the Morant.
Joe,
yeah.
It's a shame about his arm because he loved to bowl. He absolutely loved to bowl. He bowl all day long fingers.
The famous old joke we said to Joe one night, would you rather have the tiniest woman on a plate or bowl 12 overs? And he went for the 12 overs. And your dad, Kurt, good, top line and length bowler at the right level there. Always bang on, club player, another one.
Kane puts his record down to my dad. I think he took about 50 catches off him that season.
Yeah, stick Kane out, bang, put your dad on, lovely.
All right, so there you go. There's the final 11.
My missus wants to mention Rolf Jones. I ain't got a clue why. No, I love Rolf. Good opening batsman in his time.
So, what do you think about the balance of the team and the batting order? Would anybody make any changes there?
Personally, I would say from 3 to 6, it wouldn't matter to me what any order you put them in. That's the only difference I had slightly, but the rest of it, bang on for me.
I'd have Michael slightly higher up. I'd get Michael higher up.
You just want to hide down at 6, don't you?
Yeah, drop yourself down.
I had you down at 6, Dale, because when I captained you, you never bat any higher than 6 or 7, you said.
I'm going back to the Millennium Trophy when he used to come in at 4 and launch the ball to all parts.
Everyone
it was a 20 over game.
Bowls, didn't they?
Yeah, I think I'd have Michael higher, but the rest, fine.
Yeah, no complaints.
I think Kane could probably go back. No, I don't know. Actually, probably not in that team. No, Pete's probably gutted his batting 11.
Yeah. Even yourself, General, you're down at like 7.
Yeah, but in the best 11, Dale, personally, I'd be happy with that because I'd be bowling, wouldn't I? So, it's a strong old batting line up there.
Thing is, me personally, I always used to like about 3, but there's no way in a million years I want to get in front of Wayne. Never in a million years.
Yeah, but then Bangers used to open sometimes,
Yeah, he did. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You've got a good. If you go down, there's lots of left-handers, 3 left-handers, 3 right-handers in the top 6, so you can bat them any way you want.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good spread, isn't it? It's a good mixture.
It's a good team. It's a good team. Good squad of 15 we've chosen, I think.
It's a good team, and then you look at some of the players we've left out as well. It is strong.
It is, yeah. Oh, it was hard to pick, wasn't it? It was hard to pick.
Yeah. I think I changed my team about 2 or 3 times. I think I changed my team.
I sent my team to Richie, and I could have easily changed 2 or 3 after pressing the button, easily.
To be fair, I tried to get Bridge in mine, but I just couldn't quite get him in.
Different list, that, Jen. Different list.
I did tell you the story about in the golf, didn't I? Jesus Christ. There you go. Another story. That man loves value.
Oh, he's over Central at the moment, isn't he?
Doing 3 rounds a day because it's £9 instead of £5 for 1 round.
Oh, he's got the Goresbrook Open next week, isn't he? That's why.
All right. Well, we've done the best part of 2 1/4 hours, so I'd like to thank anybody who sat through all that, and I'd like to thank the 4 of you for your time.
Cheers, Richie, sorting out.
Very good to go through.
And Danny, I think Danny sorted all that.
Yeah,
Danny.
Thanks, Danny.
Joe Curley got involved as well when we had a few technical issues, but
really good on Joe. He's a club man, Joe Curley.
Joe's stepping up to the plate.
I just had a message from Shane. He's had a message from Clem Rowe at Fords that says, "Bad them all up."
He's a good bowler, wasn't he, old Clem?
So we've got the quiz tonight, Rich.
Quiz at 8 o'clock. Yeah, Sean Eli is getting ready for.
This quiz is it one when you press the ABCD again, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, good.
We need to wait for Curly to advise.
No Zoom value.
No Zoom value. But no, I mean, the good thing about Goresbrook is that only being formed in 1980, most other clubs would have no clue doing an all-time 11 about half of their history, whereas we've got people who founded the club, played in the first game, and a better place than anybody to kind of definitively say this is who I think should be in the final 11. So,
yeah, we should thank. I know it was a pain in the arse at times, and Shan, but we've got to thank Shan for doing all these stats for the whole of the history of this club. I mean, there's not many clubs that have got all the stats.
I was just about to go on to that. We've got a full record of everybody who's ever played for, scored runs, taken wickets, taken catches for Goresbrook, which we're very lucky, and we shouldn't take that for granted. So
brilliant. Yeah, and I think Joe's taking it on, hasn't he?
Shannon and Joe, the apprentice, will be keeping that going for years to come.
All right.
Cheers, fellas.
Stay safe, boys.
Thanks a lot, chaps. See you tonight.
Bye, boys.
See you on the field.
See you tonight.
See you later.